Yeah. Happy Friday, everybody. It's been a busy week. It's been a productive week. I am obsessed with my written calendar lately. My schedule was getting absolutely bonkers. And so I buckled down and went back to doing what has always worked for me, which is having a daily planner with one page a day where you fill out the most important things, your absolutely must do's, a play by play of every single half hour. You write in the things you absolutely have to have scheduled and get done, work tasks, personal tasks, all the things. It takes me 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes after I wrap up with my workday, and it works phenomenally. So, if you guys want to know what I use, there's two of them that I like, and I kind of go back and forth just depending on stage of what's going on in my life. The one I'm currently using, which is like really, it's there's a lot more to it than just the daily planner, but this is the Epic Life Planner by Rock Thomas. He's based in Canada, but big entrepreneurial guy. But my favorite one, if you just want like simple and to the point, I love the Intention Journal. It's by Brandon Turner. Those of you might know him from Bigger Pockets. I don't think he's with them anymore, but anyways, either the Intention Journal or the Epic, what is it? Epic Life Planner. Love, love, love. So if you're somebody that like wants a one pager of planning out your life every single day, try out those ones. So, anyways, today I have got a few things that we're going to be doing. I'm going to be filming some content behind the scenes so that you guys can just see what it looks like and how I do that. I'm doing a series right now on my social platforms of how to talk like a closer. So I've got a number of different things, specifically, obviously, real estate related, of how to talk like a closer in all sorts of different scenarios. So I'm going to be filming some content for that. And then I have a couple one-on-ones that I'm doing with the agents that are on my local teams. So you're going to see how that process runs. So let's just get into it. Those of you who are in here, have you seen some of my videos for my current series on how to talk like a closer? Would love to know your thoughts. Some of them went a little viral and had moments of, oops, what am I doing? That's not what I wanted. So just curious, I love seeing the comments. I love the back and forth of how people feel about closing because it's like uncomfortable for a lot of agents that I coach and train. They're like, oh, I don't want to sound salesy and da da da. It's like, well, real estate's a sales game, and it's not weird and awkward if like you're actually selling something number one that you believe in it, which I full-heartedly believe that real estate is one of the best investments you can make. And I don't just believe that just to believe it. Like, number one, it's changed my life. And I highly recommend that if you're going to sell anything, that you believe in the product, right? And then also, so not only has real estate been a huge investment platform, wealth building tool that I've used personally, and I have personally helped hundreds and hundreds of people do the same thing. And so it helps if you believe in it. But even if you're brand new, even if you don't have a ton of experience, you probably know people, you're the people in your office that are successful in real estate and that have helped lots of people. You know me, and those of you who are in the Hype Collective that I coach and train. It helps to have people that you work with, that whether you're coached by or just a community of people that are actively doing the things that it takes to be successful. And when you're around those environments, it has a huge impact on your own success. And so that's why I created the Hype Collective, to create a community and group of agents who want to do well, who want to serve their clients to the best possible, like, so that it's a no-brainer choice for the people that they talk to, so that they grow their confidence, so that we level up the real estate industry in general. And I think there's some really common threads and themes that it takes to be successful in any industry. And then there's also, there's the actual tools and the resources that you can use to implement, which that's the vault. So that's why I created that. My team and I work tirelessly on that thing. So there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of real, actual, tangible things that you can utilize in your business. Anything from lead generation to follow up to productivity to systems and processes, social media stuff. There's a luxury folder in there. There's ChatGPT courses in there. There's scripts, like over 400 scripts are in there for all sorts of lead types, all different types of personality types that you might work with, so many different things. So that's just one piece of it. And I think when people get into real estate, they think that, oh, they need, it's the training that matters. It's the tools, the resources. Yes, but that's a small part of it. There's also, who are you being coached by? Who is in your corner? Who actually cares about your business? And what are they telling you? How are they encouraging you? Do they understand your vision for the type of business that you want to build? Because there's no one right way to build it. Yes, there's common threads and themes about being successful, but there's lots of different ways you can be successful in real estate. Tons of different lead generation strategies that you can implement. And when I coach the agents that are within the Hype Collective, I look at each individual person and tailor it to, yes, it's group coaching, but each individual person is growing something different, and they have different things going on in their life. And so it's important to focus on, not say, oh, the only way to build a business is cold calling, or the only way to build a business is open houses, or like whatever it might be. There's lots of different ways to do it, but how do we break that down so that you have the tools and resources that you need? You have the kind of coaching that will push and encourage you to be more of you to take ownership of your business and support that, and not be a ceiling for whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. And then there's the community aspect. So those are the three legs. We've got the coaching, we have the vault with the tools, the systems, the resources, and you have the community. So inside my Discord channel, I have a private area where all of the Hype Collective members can plug into. By the way, I have amazing staff. Like, my team is so awesome. So it's not just me that you're getting. It's not just the tools and resources, but it's the entire community that a lot of times real estate agents, we're lone wolves, and we don't. And even if we're a part of an office, it's like there's not this cohesive community where we're collaborating versus competing. And that's what's really cool about the Hype Collective, is that you can be located anywhere. You can be licensed anywhere. Like, it doesn't matter. It's like agents from all over the place get to come together and not have to worry about the competition and people competing for listing. Blah, blah, blah. It's not that vibe whatsoever, which is so common in the real estate industry. And so just having that different environment like that, where you're around other high drivers, you're around people who have goals, they commit to things, they're consistent, they show up on a regular basis. And that's what I tell people. Hey, if you're going to join, the only thing I cannot force you to do is to show up, implement what you learn, and be consistent at it. Those are the three things that you have to be willing to commit. And it also helps if you're ready to get rid of your excuses and your limiting beliefs, because my team is really, really good at doing that for people. And so you would be ideal, to get the most out of the Hype Collective group coaching membership is if you do those three things. If you can commit to showing up, implementing, and being consistent, and then you take advantage of those three pillars that we have: showing up to the live coaching sessions, implementing and using the vault with all the resources that we provide, and you engage and come into the Discord channel on a regular basis, because you never know who's going to be in there. You might not get technically with the package 101, but the people that show up in the Discord often get one-on-ones from my marketing director, my personal marketing director, who helps me with so much stuff, social media wise, content creation, all of that stuff. Like, she is a wealth of information. And so when you join in, I don't even have her listed as one of the things that you get, but she's constantly in that Discord pouring into our agents. She is great with motivating you, like knocking off your excuses, kicking you in the butt, actually showing you how to do things. Like, you get access to my whole team when you pop in there. I've got an admin assistant who takes care of your onboarding and getting all that stuff. Like, you have multiple resources and an entire community of people who want to help. Plus, let alone all of the top producing agents that are in there that you get to have access to and ask questions with and collaborate with. And so the way that I set up the Hype Collective was such that all the pain points that I've heard for years and years and years of coaching agents and listening to what their pain points are, that is why I set it up the way that I did. Everything and how I created this is intentional so that it hits all those pain points. So, you know what? Maybe you have excellent top of the line tools and resources, but you don't have accountability, or you don't have a supportive community to work with. Maybe you have a supportive community, but you don't have a coach that's kicking your ass. Well, perfect. Hi, I'm here. And we also have a marketing director who's also phenomenal at doing that. So no matter what it is, what gap that you have, that's why it's all encompassing and very focused and directed on, okay, how do we pull more of you out? Because the more you can be, the more true and authentic to yourself and how you want to build things that you are, the more success that you're going to have. Because if you're trying to pretend to be somebody else, or you think you have to act a certain way, and like that will get in the way of you actually doing the things and being consistent. Because when you're feeling out of alignment with who you are and how you want to do things and what you think you should do and who you think you should have to be, like you're gonna hit burnout so many times. Like, and trust me, I've gone through it too. Like I the imposter syndrome, the being insecure, the not knowing if you're doing enough or if it's good enough, like all of those things you're gonna hit regardless. Like, successful people don't lack all of those limiting beliefs and the struggles that you do. They just figure out how to push past through them. They get into rooms with people that have overcome those things and continue to overcome them. Because newsflash, hate to break it to you, but all of the things that you struggle with, or that you like internally, you've got insecurities or limiting beliefs around, they don't magically go away just because you double your business. Like, you're just going to hit a new level of the imposter syndrome, a new level of insecurity of whatever or wherever you're at. So you can't wait to feel confident to take action. You have to take action, keep the commitments you make to yourself. That builds the confidence, and then you keep going, and then you roll, and then you see the results. And so a lot of my coaching is based in psychology. I love this stuff. I was a psychology major, so I will nerd out on that all day. But all of those things are infused into all of the aspects that we have for the Hype Collective. So if you guys are at all, like any of this resonates with you, I'm doing a very special 50% off discount code for you guys through July 1st. So happy 4th of July or pre-4th of July discount code. So Hype 50 at checkout will get you 50% off right now. But that ends July 1st. It's next Tuesday. So go run and grab that. Or if we hit 50 people before then, I'm going to turn it off. So if you are at all interested, go check out my profile link, click on it. When you get to checkout, type in Hype 50 and it'll get you 50% off. But that, like I said, ending either next Tuesday or if we get the first 50 people to do that, then we'll turn it off. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to pop it in the chat. Speaking of, oh, awesome. You know what? I know on YouTube, I saw your question about that. I have a phenomenal video editor right now that does amazing for me, but stay in touch with me, because as we grow, I'm going to need more. So definitely follow my stuff and reach out. Also, let's film some content, because I've got my first one-on-one in about 10 minutes, and I'm just going to give you guys behind the scenes of what that looks like. Let's look. Okay. I also really quickly need to call this agent and let her know that we need to reschedule their showing request, which is not my favorite, but it is what it is. So let's do that really quick, and then we'll dive into it. I need my headphones. What time is it there? Okay, didn't answer, so we're going to text him real quick. What's going on? Are we doing that? When did I start real estate? Good question. What is up? I started over 13 years ago. So it was early 2012 is when I first got my license. And the first 3 months, I just learned all things admin. So the process of how real estate sales go, I was like transaction coordinator, admin assistant, all the things. And then I dove right into listings and sold hundreds of homes right out of the gate, because I was the co-listing agent for the team leader at the time. And then I got into operations, and lots of things happened there. And then I ended up, when I decided to go full-time, just agent, I sold 50 houses my first year of doing that, after doing tons of coaching, training, hiring, operations, all of that. So Yeah. So gosh, 2012. So that was all there was to sell in 2012. We're pretty much, and my team specifically specialized in short sales and foreclosures. So those of you who think the market's hard right now, trust me, I've been through it. I've been through the ups and the downs and da da da. Like I came in at like almost the bottom of the market in real estate. So there is really no bad time to get into it. If you're in real estate and you've been in it for a year or like you've struggled, 2024 was tough for a lot of agents. And but I'm telling you, I still have not experienced more difficult conversations with people than when I very first started in 2012 because that was rough. Having those conversations with people. So I will take any conversations and objections in today's market than 2012. And things rotate, things cycle. So you just have to level up your skills. You have to stay consistent. You have to adapt. And those are the things that have grit. Those are the things if I was like, what kind of characteristics do you need to make it in real estate? Those would definitely be the things that I would say. And then also just make sure you're in a community and a group like the Hype Collective that I have, that is a place that you can go to get continual like encouragement, motivation, training, coaching, accountability. Like all of the most people need some sort of accountability. And the thing about real estate is that when you are a you're an independent contractor, you're a solo agent, and a lot of people come from like a W-2 background where you're hourly, you clock in, you clock out. And when you're your own boss, so to speak, you have to implement stops and non-negotiables and all of that. And it's a question that I ask a lot of the agents that I coach and train is, would you hire you? Would you be fired from a job if somebody else was your boss of your business? Would you fire you today? Did you do the absolute bare minimum to do the job? And what does that look like? So you have to define what your non-negotiables are. You have to define what it looks like to have a successful day. So if you have no idea and you're just waiting for the closings to dictate that, you're never going to get there. You have to decide, okay, my non-negotiables are that I am making 250 calls every single day, or I am having 20 conversations a day, or else my day isn't over, or I am setting 2 appointments minimum every single week, and I don't stop calling, or I don't stop lead generating, whatever that is. It doesn't have to be cold calling, it can be anything. But you have to establish that, and then you have to make sure that you do it. So if that means that you need to join a community like the Hype Collective and actually physically tell somebody and make yourself vulnerable and say, this is what I'm in my business, this is what success looks like to me. First of all, just what does success mean to you? And I know that sounds really basic and simple, but if you don't have a clear direction or focus of where you're going, or like a definition of what success means, or what your why is and why you're even doing it, then your likelihood of hitting that is slim to none. I would bet against you all day, every day, if you, at minimum, you didn't have a concept of what success looks like. And if it looks like, oh, well, that guy or that gal, I want to have with, okay, well, what is it that they do? What is it like? Do you know how much they net? Do you know how much they sell? Do you know what their average price point, their sale is that you need to be in order to get to that category? Is that a number of homes that you sell? Is that the money that's in your bank account after taxes? Is it that you have enough money to travel or provide for your kids' college fund? Like what is it? Sit down, do all of those things. That's what I do. I actually shouldn't talk about this, but because it's not launched yet. However, one of the things that I do for the people that are, because I have an organization, the Hype Squad, that the people that are licensed here and all that, and I do one-on-ones with them. And when I do one-on-one coaching for people, and I'm about to have one here in a few minutes for one of the agents that are on my squad, but is one of the first things that I do is we set out and we look at what exactly, and we define exactly what it is that they want and why they want it, and those goals, both personal and business, so that they align and they make sense. Most agents, when I say, hey, what do you want to do? First year in real estate, what's a good goal for you? Oh, I want to make 6 figures. Everybody says that. Like, you're not the only one. Oh, 100 grand. Like, that would be a great goal. Okay, perfect. How many deals does that look like? What are you going to do with that 100 grand? Where's those dollars going? Do you know how much taxes have to be taken out of that? What are your current expenses? Do you have a spouse or a partner that also, commits to the expenses that you have? And so it's breaking down, reverse engineering all of that to all the way down to every single day, knowing exactly what you have to do when you wake up in the morning to actually hit those goals. and then it's staying, because then the real work happens after that. But if you haven't done that, like, get in the Hype Collective so that we can teach you how to do that, so that you can have some accountability around it. And most people are not self-motivated. Like, sure, like, a lot of people want to say that they are, but a lot of people say that they want to be an entrepreneur. A lot of people say that like, they're motivated, but ultimately, like, what does it take then? Like, show me your calendar and show me what happens if you don't do the things that you commit to, and then we'll determine how motivated you are. So, like, it's one of those things that, I know for me, I had to, I used to consider myself a pretty self-motivated person. I was, someone that people would come to often for help or accountability or whatever. And, like, I tended, if I said I was going to do something, I was going to do it. However, I really wanted to dig into that. And so I've hired coaches myself too. I paid money, right? Like, if you pay money to something, like, what you invest your time and your money into there, that is where your heart is. And so I have done things to create pain, pleasure, right? And I've played around with those things in my business to find out what I'm motivated by. And to be honest with you, I actually am more motivated by pain than I am by pleasure. So, knowing that about myself, I had to discover that. And so I put tons of pain points in there, that if I don't do the thing, then I lose out on something or whatever. There's a consequence for me not doing things, rather than just going throughout the week and saying, oh, well, like, I plan to, I'm going to try to get this done. And then if it doesn't, then I have excuse, because I said, well, I said I was going to try. Right? How many of you can relate to that, of, like, you just, the week slips by, a couple weeks slips by, a month slips by, and then you're like, well, shit, I'm not at all where I thought I was going to be this year. And literally, as of next week, we are exactly halfway through the entire year of 2025. What actually happened? I have no idea how we're suddenly halfway through this year, but that's the reality. And it's important to actually be realistic of, like, okay, half the year's over. Are you halfway to your goals of what you set in January? Have you even looked at your goals since you set them in January? Do you actually have a plan, a structured roadmap to, I know what I need to do every single day, every single week. I have my minimums. I hit them. I do them no matter what. I don't let excuses get in the way. I don't let anything, like any distractions, all the things, because they will. And so if you don't prepare for that, like, part of what I do in my calendar is, like, there's a question of what potential roadblocks are going to come up this week. And just doing that simple exercise once a week on a Sunday, of not only mapping out the most important things of your week, but also asking yourself what potential roadblocks could happen. And that allows your brain to be like, oh shoot, I have a lot of meetings this week, or my kids are graduating from school, or my, like, what, it's summertime, whatever. And so, instead of being reactive to your business, and when distractions and roadblocks come in your way, and then you have to deal with those because you didn't have a plan, and then, oh, my week went to shit, well, it's because of this external thing that I couldn't control. Well, no, you just didn't plan for it. You knew that those things were going to happen, or you knew that things were going to come up, but you didn't have a plan to redirect or refocus those things. I'll give you an example. Yesterday I did this exercise, okay, and I do it every single day, just on a smaller scale than I do once a week. And so yesterday, what I did was I input all of the because I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had 5 either Zoom or events happening yesterday. And so I put those in on the hourlies. And then I had like 4 or 5 things other than that were fairly, anywhere from like a 20 minutes to 45-minute task that I had to do. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this feels overwhelming. But then I was able to plug, and then I wrote those things into my calendar. And so that freed my mind from worrying about all the other tasks that I had that day, because I knew that in that time block for those specific things, I just need to focus on that one thing, because my brain didn't have to worry about all the other things that I had to get done today, because they were time blocked in. And I'm not saying that that's the exact way that you have to do things, but you have to have some sort of structure, some sort of plan for overcoming and expecting those roadblocks and those distractions that are going to come. Otherwise, like, those, they're going to hit, and then you're going to handle just what's most urgent rather than what is most important. Okay, shoot. I have to get on my coaching call. I thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Let's pop in the Zoom. You guys are going to get to see me do a little one-on-one with one of my agents. Let's go. Okie dokie. Quentin, where you at, my guy? Here he is. What's up, Quentin? Good morning. You're on mute. Oh, there we go. Are you there? I don't hear you for some reason. Oh, there we go. You are silent. My volume is up. Let's see if that works. That's weird. Are you on your laptop or phone? Yeah, no, it's like silent. I see that you're off mute. That's weird. Oh, technology. Love to hate it. Okay, let's see. I got nothing. Okay, he's gonna pop out and come back in. Woo! Let's go. You would think.
Okay, how's that?
Yay. Okay,
we had to do that last time too. I don't know why.
I don't know why. Whatever. Just, it's like when a tech person says, "Did you try shutting down your computer and restarting?" I'm like, "No, I didn't."
All right, good.
Anyways, okay, let's dive into it. Just so you know, you're live. So
all right, let's dive in. I'm ready.
Let's freaking go. I love that attitude. Okay, so what do we got? Do you want to talk clients? Let's talk clients first and where you're at with those.
Okay, so my buyer client, obviously Monday is the last day. Our contract ends June 30th.
Okay.
So we've been talking every day. She doesn't, so it seems like she's liking some of the properties. She's just like real particular with crime in the neighborhood, this and that. And I'm like, well, the area that you want to live in, you're probably going to have to, I didn't tell her this, but in my mind, I'm like, you're probably not going to have to live in Portland. I'm thinking like, you might have to move like Clackamas, Beaverton, so.
Yeah, there's like certain pockets and it's like 2 blocks one way is different than 2 blocks the other way. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I like this neighborhood, but if I go further down, I'm like, well, don't go that way. She's really nice though. So
good.
In the end of July, she's going to the East Coast for 6 weeks. And then, so I don't know if we'll try again when she gets back or if she wants to continue to keep trying before she leaves. We'll rediscuss that. So this is kind of, I don't know. I still got a few days. I'm not giving up, but
for sure.
It's kind of like, okay, just, she's not high priority anymore.
Yeah, for sure. It's just, follow up stuff. And that's great that you're talking to her. So yeah. Okay, cool. And then what about Corey?
He keeps pushing the date back. So I was supposed to meet him Tuesday. He's like, okay, can we push back? Okay, I was supposed to come Wednesday. No, okay. I'm like, yo, I just want to come up there, put the lockbox on, and whatever, shake your hand. He's like, okay. And then he's like, this week, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. He was like, okay, I'll sign the contracts today. It was Wednesday, sorry. He was like, Wednesday, I'll sign the contracts on my lunch. Nothing. So I called, text, no response. He called me yesterday. I missed the call because I was on the phone. So I called him right back. No response. And I'm like, okay, it's just a back and forth, but it's his home. He'll be ready when he's ready.
Yeah.
He said he's still cleaning up, painting, like all the touch-ups. So
the most important piece, did he figure out with the property that he's purchasing, is that paperwork and that deal dialed?
Yeah, everything's dialed in. I think he's waiting for them to sign. I'll follow up this morning. Yeah, I called him yesterday. He didn't respond.
Gotcha. Okay, because I know that was the linchpin for him specifically. Like
the
most important is yes, getting the house ready, but also the stuff with the contract.
Right. Then it sounds like all that was good between all the paperwork.
Fantastic. Okay, so it's going to go through. He's just whatever. He's got work. He's got the house. Blah blah blah. So okay, well that'll land at some point. And then what else do you got?
And then nothing too significant at the moment. So I keep getting calls and I kept trying to pick up the number and I figured out it was my KV Core number that was calling me. So I saved it in my phone.
Yes.
But every time I pick up, it says like I'm not connected or something like that.
You have to press 1. So so it's going to call you and says, hey, we have so-and-so, whatever, press 1 to connect. When you press 1, then it'll dial the lead. So they don't have
It doesn't
the,
even, but it doesn't even give me that prompt.
Oh,
It just says your KV cord is number is not set up or something. It's not linked together.
Oh, okay. Then you need to go into Bold Trail and set up
Mhm.
your number. So yeah, so just write this down as a thing to do. But
Okay.
so
I'm
they
in Bold
link
Trail
you-
right now, and I
Oh,
thought I
okay.
did that. It shows the KV cord number, my EXP Realty, email.
And so it's a
I'll try to
different.
figure it
So
out.
that phone number is it's a different phone number than your personal cell, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. It might be that you just need to like dial in and like have it link, like not that you don't have one, but maybe it's just not connected with your cell phone yet.
That's what it's saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can Google that and
Okay.
and figure out how to do that. Okay. So yeah, once you do that, then the system will dial you, say, hey, Susie Smith, just got in the database and we're going to dial her out. You press 1, it dials her, and then either they answer or you get voicemail.
Okay. I'm over here thinking it's spam. I'm like, what the hell is this spam number?
Yes. Yep. Details, right? So yeah, that's good that you saved it now in your phone. So, okay, cool. So let's talk dials. So I know you've got the Bold Trail stuff. So do you know how many dials you made in Bold Trail? I'm going to pull up your stats here really quick, but off the top of your head.
Yeah, I forgot to enter in Tuesday, the 23rd. Wait, could I enter? Sorry, I was gonna finish entering all that in. Because usually I just have it right here on my notebook and then I'll enter it in later.
Gotcha.
I forgot to enter in what day was the 23rd. That was
That would have been
24th, Tuesday.
Tuesday the 24th. Yeah.
I forgot to add in 16.
Okay. So when you're calling through them, are you logging the call as you, okay, and then you're just tracking it separately? Okay. Okay, cool. Okay. So let's see here. It looks like.
And I'm trying to get quicker at hand dialing, but that is.
So what I do you have Apple products?
Yes, I do.
So do you know that you can copy on your laptop and paste on your phone?
Oh, my laptop is not Apple product though.
Ah, that's why. Darn it. Okay. So literally it is such a lifesaver.
I'm gonna have to upgrade.
You highly recommend because you don't know how many times I use that, and it's back and forth. So it's a so I will, if I'm in my CRM system on my laptop, I will copy, just select copy, and then I'll be on my phone, click paste, and then boom, dial. It makes it way faster than having to hand type everything in. Yeah. So if you can, highly recommend, but otherwise just, do your thing. And then do we have an update from Jer on Vulcan? I know that's been.
I was waiting. He said I should be getting an email any day now.
Okay, perfect. At least we got through that. Okay. So then you'll get that set up and then you'll be able to power dial those at least. And that'll be good. Okay. So what is your total? If you've got it right there, what's your total dial count or call count for this week?
Hold on.
I'm seeing in the system, and if you haven't inputted it says calls 119, tasks 30, completion percentage 19%. So you completed 29 and of the tasks that were hand created, and then 25 were completed of the accountability calls, just click the ones that auto populate. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what total do you have?
Sorry, real quick. I have 56.
56. Okay.
Yeah.
So 56 dials. Did you track by chance how many conversations you had? It's okay if not. That's the next step.
About 5 conversations.
Okay. Okay. And do you know how many hours of calls, like how long it took you?
I usually start around 8 and then I'm finished by 10. Sometimes I had to cut off a little earlier than 10.
Okay. So 8 to 10. And did you do what days of the week did you do that?
I did Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. And then I got it in here as Wednesdays, but I need to put that down to Thursday.
Okay. Got
And
it. For
I'll put it in the-
your schedule. Okay. So
Yeah.
you're doing 8 to 10, so 2, 4. So that's 6 hours total a day. And for hand dialing, so if we divide that by, so I'm calculating your averages just so that we know.
And I want to get more efficient and get quicker at this. It's just,
Yeah, you're figuring out. Yeah, you're just getting used to the system and all of that. That's fine. But I always just track it from the beginning. That way you can see the growth and see, and
Right.
figure out the inefficiencies. And then plus, once you get the power dialer, this will be super, super easy. So, okay. So yeah, I would say on the, and you're going through, you've got the pond stuff, you've got your stuff in there. Where are you at on getting like through your database, like your pipeline of, at least touching every single person that you've uploaded in there that has had a call and or has a task to call at some point?
I have not gotten through.
Okay. So I think that'll be a good, so maybe prioritizing for next week,
Mhm.
8 to 9 o'clock, call through as many on the pond leads and follow up and all of that there. Then
Okay.
spend an hour of making sure you're hitting every single person in your sphere. And
Okay.
it might, and it's okay if it takes you a couple, but it's just at least going through, tagging them proper, if you want to add tags, whatever, categorizing them, calling and or sending some type of message, and then scheduling a message out.
Okay. And then I sent a couple of texts and they're like, oh, and then they said something, and they didn't respond back. So I was like, okay.
And that's how it goes. You're going to get more ghosts and no's than you do yeses. So it's just, so then you just, schedule a next, and obviously depending on interest. Is that for pond leads that you're saying, or your sphere people?
Spirit.
Okay. Yep. So then, again, you just set another thing to follow up in a couple weeks or a month or whatever, just depending on, and them. So it's like, if they're ways out on buying, then okay, maybe you follow up in a couple months. If they're, or, and as we build this out and you get in a groove, we'll start adding things like a monthly newsletter and, all the social media stuff. So
that's something I do want to get. I remember we talked about that before. That's something I really want to get dug into.
Yep. Yeah. Nicole actually just created a whole, like, tons of drip campaigns. So she would be a good one to talk to.
Okay.
And obviously you've got all our ChatGPT stuff to build it out. But she has a phenomenal one. She's already getting really good responses from her drip campaigns that she just set up.
Nice.
And if you're in the Discord, our marketing baddie is in there a lot, and she can help you build out that stuff too. So okay, cool. So we've got your calls, we've got your hours. How are you feeling about now trial running it for a week or two? How's the schedule go? Like, are you able to stick with it, or are there any roadblocks that you're noticing?
I'm pretty solid. And I was thinking about maybe Saturdays too, making calls in the morning. I'm not sure how people feel. Is 8 o'clock too early on a Saturday?
No. I mean, no. Yeah. And honestly, weekends are a great time to do it. It's a great time to supplement, not to replace during the week, but there are people that will pick up on a weekend that won't pick up during the day. And so it's just, you'll get a different, just different people to respond. So if you could add that in, that would actually be very helpful.
Okay. Oh, speaking of, I talked to James Jabbar, that we were supposed to get connected with JC.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I got him to pick up yesterday, finally. Phenomenal. And it was real quick. It seems like he was at work or something. He said he's about a month out. He still hasn't got pre-approval or anything. And then I was just in the middle of talking. He hung up real quick. I was like, okay, must be at work. So I told him, hey, I'm going to have JC reach out to you. So hopefully he picks up. I was trying to figure out, like, what's a good time, but he wasn't real responsive. I was like, what's a good time to reach you?
Yeah. Well, people sometimes will be like, hey, can I call you tomorrow same time? Or can Jen call you tomorrow same time? Like, just to try and nail it down. Okay, well, that's good. So your pipeline, have you filled out? I know you shared that with me. Let's see. So let's pull that up. So any of these people, so you've got Corey, you've got the buyer where the contract ends pretty soon. You've got that lead, Kelsang. So those ones, like that's where you want to start inputting those people on the pipeline page, the first sheet of that, of like people that, like, you know, basically the pipeline, the majority of them are like 6 months or less type people, and sometimes I'll even put like a year out, like people that I want to keep top of mind and all of that. Those are the people that I'm like inputting into that section. So essentially a good rule of thumb is like a year or less, or 6 months or less, as far as their timeline. Those are the people that I'm like looking at every day and having that tab up.
Okay. And then she did keep texting me last night while I was working, and she wants, so I think it last sold for 1.15.
Okay.
And I think she wants to make an offer at that price, and I'm like, I don't think they're not going to take that.
No.
Yeah. I asked her, what do you think it's worth? She said 960 to 980, and I was like, they're probably not gonna accept your offer.
I thought she was like, oh, I'm willing to pay that now.
That's what she was saying. And then when I told her what it sold for last, she's like, okay, I'm willing to pay that. And I'm just like, well, the other agent kind of hinted she's not taking anything under less than 1.2 for sure, but she wanted to stay up towards more for that 1.3.
Perfect. Yeah, I would say if she's willing to do at least 1.2, do it. But if she's, yeah. So, okay. Well, and that's just going to be, that'll be a good follow-up thing. And thinking about providing value, right? So it's like, it's one thing to just follow up, just to follow up, but something that might be helpful to her is say, hey, look at what's sold. Like maybe send her a couple comps of like, hey, these properties sold between 1.2 and 1.3 in the last 6 months. I think if we went in at 1.2, that would be a good deal if you got that. And number two, like the price justifies that. When did the house that she's interested in, and they bought it for 1.15, you said, when did they buy?
22 or 23, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And so you could do some math too of like, okay, what percentage, like if she bought it at 1.2, what's that percentage increase? Any math people that are on live, if you want to let me know, I've got a calculator, but be like, okay, so, if you're buying it at this, what is that? Like a 10% increase, and the average year over year, and not that this is what it is every year, but the average, like a typical appreciation rate year over year. If you look at the past, 100 years of home sales, it's usually between 3 and 5%. So if you do the math on if they bought in 2022, a 3 to 5% appreciation rate year over year, 1.2 is probably right about on the money. So yeah. So just, so when you follow up or like you're texting or whatever, those are just some ideas on what you can do to just give information of explaining why, hey, the 1.2 number, it's still $100,000 off of what they had it listed for. So.
Right. And I told her I'll do a CMA and a follow up with her later today. She said that's fine.
Okay.
But I do know that she is going to want to downsize because she said she lives in her house is too big. It's like a 7-bedroom, and then downstairs like a whole separate living area.
Gotcha.
So eventually she wants to get out of there. She told me.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so I mean, she has a decent motivation. She just wants what she wants, and she wants to pay what she wants. But she's motivated on this property. She's probably just trying to push to see, how far it can go. So okay, cool. So yeah, you have a handful of people that are good prospects. It's just follow up. Now we need to go get more. So that's how are you doing on the 10 touch points within the first 2 weeks with all the new leads that come into the pond? Like,
not good. I'm still, not good at all. I'll be honest.
Yep. So that's the first part, is getting in that flow. So what I would do, there's a flow of 3 different things that I would prioritize to make it your cadence every time you open that. So you have that 8 to 10 window. The very first thing I would do, there is a hot leads, like on your dashboard in the CRM system, there's hot leads. And so it tells you Sammy Smith viewed this property 12 hours ago, right? And it has a ton of them, but I would maybe go back, like, I don't know. And you'll start to get, if you do this every day, then you'll start to get caught up, and the hot leads will, it'll be further and further back if you stay on top of it. But you could prioritize that. Okay, these people are actively on the website, clicking on links, looking at things. So, maybe the top 10 people on the hot leads, or all the people that have been looking in the last 24 to 48 hours, call those people first because they're hot. They're hot. Then go into the pond. Well, actually reverse that. Go to the pond, grab all the new leads that came in since the day before, and call all of those people first. Then go to the hot lead section of people that are active, then go back into the pond and do your follow-ups, do the older leads that are in there. So that way the priority makes sense, and then you have a plan each day for all of that. And then obviously incorporating towards the latter half of your lead gen, or maybe on Thursday, you call the hot leads and then your new leads to come in, but then go directly to getting through all of your sphere list.
Okay, so 8 to 10, I can make calls, and then I got all the way up until noon. You have to start getting ready.
Oh, fantastic!
So I got 8 to noon to just go crazy.
Okay, then yeah, then if that's the case, then I would still do that same flow, but get through all of the new like at least making dials, making sure their search alerts set up. Make sure there's another. If you don't reach them, that the system and you don't move them to active, and then you keep them in prospect, it'll keep sending you reminder calls to call for the first 2 weeks or whatever until you move them. So you don't have to worry about setting a reminder for anyone in prospect. But after that, if you get a hold of them and they answer, that's when you move it to active, and then you can plug in the next follow-up task. With every single lead that comes in, just like as you're talking with them, go into their search, because the system oftentimes will auto generate based on what they clicked on. It'll auto create a search for them, like to send them emails. I will update that to only send like either once or twice a week until I talk with them, because I don't want it spamming, because I think it defaults to daily. And so you don't want an unsubscribe. So I will usually change that if I haven't gotten a hold of them to twice a week or once a week. And, and then I'll kind of look at the parameters, and let's say they clicked on an $8 million property, and then they also clicked on a $450,000 property. The system will make this giant, price point, but it's like, okay, they looked at the $8 million property because it was fancy. They're probably more in that 450 range. So I'm going to make the range like 400 to 600, maybe, like in the automated search setup. So I do spend a little bit of time on those new leads to update that, and then move on to the next one.
Okay.
So yeah, the new leads that are in there first, then the hot leads on your dashboard, then your follow up with all the stuff that you've got assigned to you, then go to your sphere and just knock those out.
Yeah, Monday through, unless it's like a client, pretty much I'm open to just 8 to noon.
Perfect.
Fleshed out. And then how much time do we have?
5 minutes.
Okay, just real quick.
Yep.
So there's 2 people that I contacted in here, and then they just stop responding. And then they text me, and then they text back a little bit, then they stop. Both investment type guys. So one is, he's like, I think he's a doctor. His name is Dr. Brown or something like that.
Okay.
And he texts the number in KB4 that he's interested in looking for investment properties. And then we were missing each other's call. Then he was texting me for a little bit, and then he stopped responding. So I noticed when he reached me, it was like towards the evening time. So I'll try again around that time.
Yep.
And see what's good. But I was trying to figure out, like, how could I try to follow up with him? I think he's looking for some investment properties.
Okay. Do you have an idea? Like, did it show in the system what he was looking at before? Did you have a conversation that he told you?
I just, from the text that he texts KB Core, the number that he's looking for investment properties, and then what he was looking at was like it was a house in Tualatin, but it was like a couple mil.
Okay. So then what I would do is set up the search criteria that sends, like I would say, twice a week, since he showed some activity that he's interested. I would maybe have those emails set twice a week, create or build the search alert based around kind of that house, similar specs, similar price range, maybe do like 800, since he's an investor, I would maybe do like 800 to 1.5, create a bigger range, and, minimum 3-bed, 2-bath, like whatever, just minimum stuff, see what that pulls up for the Tualatin, and maybe even 1 or 2 surrounding, like maybe Tigard too, just to kind of see what that gets. And then once you get that set up, have those results send to him and say, you could call him if he doesn't answer, text him and say, hey, I just set up a search with this basic criteria. Let me know if that's a range, or you want me to tighten that up at all. So like, you're providing value and you're asking for a response back. And then the other thing too, that I always, and this is for everyone, most CRM systems, the auto emails that get sent of the properties that we send them goes to people's spam. It's a common problem with that. So I have like a text replacement explaining like, hey, I just sent you this email at this time. It likely went to your spam folder. Go into your spam folder to find it. If you don't see it in your inbox, save me as a safe sender, and then you'll start getting these emails in your regular inbox. So also let him know to check there.
Okay. And then there was another gentleman, he stopped responding too. We started getting into what he was looking for, and then he stopped responding. But he said he's about a year out. He's looking for a duplex, 650 or less cash.
Sweet. Yeah, that's doable.
Okay.
For a duplex. And what
And
areas?
he was looking at Happy Valley, but he said he's open to whatever.
Yeah, it's going to be tough in Happy Valley to find that. So I would look Clackamas. I would look Milwaukee, Gladstone,
Okay.
and maybe even Gresham.
Okay.
So I would just expand that search out and be like, hey, look, I know you're looking at Happy Valley, but I expanded your search a little bit just in case the perfect thing pops up right outside of your area.
Okay.
And then just send them. And then every once in a while, here's another pro tip too. So you've got the emails that are sending, right? Oftentimes I will pop, like if it's, the day to follow up with this person, you're like, I don't know what to do. I will go into their search, look at a property that recently came on the market, grab the link, text it and say, hey, I saw this one just popped up. It matches your criteria. What do you think? So it work smarter, not harder. Like, don't assume that they're looking at every single email, and you can see it on the back end too, if they open your emails or not. But especially if they're not opening the emails, or at least the last one that you sent, pull a property out there that closely matches with it. And that's the value that you're adding. You are following up, but you're providing value. You're showing that you're actively looking for them. So.
Okay, sounds good.
Another thing that you could do too is say, hey, I'd love to hop on the phone with you to find out more specifics on your criteria so I can update this search for you. Would this time at this day work, or would this day at this time work? So like give specific times that like to nail it down of when, instead of just continually calling back and forth. That's another thing you can do.
Yeah, a lot of people I've been getting in contact with, they're saying they're like a year out. But it's just me. I got to get my follow-up game down.
Yep. And that's fine. And when I tell, hey, that's perfect. Most people I talk to kind of get started early. That's actually a really good thing. And you can set up your strategy, and I'll just keep you, hey, would you want an email once a month? I don't want to spam you, but would once a month work for you to send you some properties? And then you can interweave in text message. Hey, I know you're not ready yet, but I saw this property that perfectly matches what you're looking for. Just wanted you to keep an eye out on it and what prices look like for what you're looking for right now. And then sure enough, I can't tell you how many times when I was good at the follow-up, that people that thought they were a year out, as soon as their mind is focused on it and they're reminded about what's going, then, the interest, and then they'll buy 6 months later instead of a year, so.
Good. And then as far as social media, I got all my scripts down. So I was only able to batch content like a week's worth, but now I have all the scripts, so now I'll be able to batch more.
Fantastic. Okay. And you're feeling good. Like, so in general, do you feel like the schedule that you have set up, the time that you have to do everything, that it's doable and that you can hit all the things in the week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially if I incorporate Sundays, for sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Love it. Easy peasy. Anything else? Nicole just popped in.
For now.
Okay. Awesome. We'll go get them. You're doing good.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. You betcha. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, girl. Hey. What's going on? Nicole, are you there? You're on mute. Oh, there you go.
I don't know why it muted me. Weird. I am good. I had to sleep sitting up in the recliner last night, but I got to sleep, so that was good.
Good. Oh, FYI, we're live, so
Okay. Perfect. That's
up.
okay. I'll share all my personal things that stressed me out last night. What else? Oh, I found 3 new gray hairs. We plucked those babies.
Of course, get that out of there. I mean, unless you want to make it a money piece.
I mean, okay, here's the thing. I don't hate my grays that are coming in because they're not like dark gray. They're like white and almost like shiny highlights.
I love that. I mean, own it, rock it.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, it almost brightens up my hair. So yeah, there's that. I didn't make 900 calls this week, but since I'm working on getting 2 weeks ahead before surgery, I have 4,500 calls over like 3 weeks.
Okay.
And I'm still ahead on those calls of where I need to be.
Perfect.
I already called all my new leads this morning.
Fabulous.
Right now I'm really focusing on getting KV or Bold Trail or CRM cleaned up
Okay.
and everyone on drips, especially now. Like, these people have been on drips in less than a week. I went from no responses with the default ones
Mm-hmm.
to responses,
Fabulous.
even with my 14-day drip. I went to trivia night with a women's group from my church last night, and we had wine and played trivia.
Love it.
And it was so great because the women are all in like their 30s and 40s. So it's like perfect
That's
age
so
range
cool.
for me.
And a great community to be a part of and chat about what you do and all the things.
Yes. And we were just talking, and I was telling them about how like I implemented a new marketing campaign because one of the girls is she does real estate part-time for just friends and family because she has 4 kids under 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
So mom is her full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
So I was telling her about how these campaigns I implemented and they're how a little unhinged. And I read them a couple of emails, and they were dying laughing. And the ones that work in real estate, they're like, I would literally work with you just because of that. She's like, I don't want to be asked what I think of these homes I'm seeing. Like, or like, I know I have to get pre-approved. Like, she's like, especially like, I'm just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like, don't ask me.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's so interesting because yesterday, I don't know if you were there, but I did a pop-up event with Jen, the lender, and one of her partners. And that's exactly what we were talking about. It's like there's so many different levels of where people are at on the home buying process, and real estate agents show up of like, go get pre-approved. Let's go see this house. And it's like, there is a lot of space between someone being ready and someone of just thinking about wanting to buy or sell a house that like, and if you're not hitting them with content and with value that doesn't address that gap in that stage, then yeah, you're gonna just get a swipe.
Yeah. Well, it's so interesting because when I got my nutrition and personal training certification, something they really hit on in there, and it's such a big part of it, is the steps of making a decision. Mm-hmm. And the first step is, I don't care. I want nothing to do with this. You know, you can't bring them to let's go see houses. Yep. But you could bring them to, I don't care. I want nothing to do with this, to I'd like to, but I don't care to do anything about it right now. Mm-hmm. And that's how it's like, just get them on the drip so they start seeing it more, right? And then from there, you have to get them to, okay, I'd like to do it, you know, at some point. Yep. And I want to take the steps, but I'm struggling to take the steps, right? Mm-hmm. And then from there, okay, I'm ready to do it. I'm starting to take the steps. And then there, it's like, okay, I'm doing it right now. I'm doing the steps. So it's that thing, those phases can be applied to literally everything you do in your life.
Everything. Yep. 100%.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like, just a messaging switch and an understanding of where someone's mindset at and where they're at on the journey of whatever it is, home buying, nutrition, exercise, whatever.
Yeah. And it was so great because their feedback was like, it gives the information, like there's still useful information in there, but it's not, there's no pressure to it. It's funny. It's more of a story. And it's not what everyone else is sending.
Yep. Love it. And yesterday, the whole theme was, it's not to be better. Like, it's not necessarily about being better. It's about being different. And that's what makes you stand out. That's what makes you top of mind. So, you know, when you think about having to compete with huge corporations or whatever, top real estate agents, blah, 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 like it's not about necessarily being better, because define better, but being different, that just being different can help you win in those stages. So yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Really quickly, let's circle back to how many calls did you make this week? Do you have that total?
So just in Vulcan, I made 638 calls. Okay. So actually, considering how much I'm doing in my CRM and the amount of pain I've been in this week, I'm not mad at that, because that's less than 200 calls. or what, that's less than 300 calls from where I need to be.
Mm-hmm.
And over the next 2.5 weeks, that'll be very easy
To make up
to
on.
spread out.
Okay. Did you do any KV core? I thought you did some KV core stuff too.
I did a ton of KV core.
Okay.
So
Okay.
let me actually pull that up for you
Perfect.
so we can take a look at that.
Okay.
Let's see here. I'm going into KV core or Bold Trail. I'm sorry, it is.
I have to keep correcting myself too.
I keep saying I'm going to be the old lady that keeps saying everything wrong.
Yep, I know. Same.
Yeah. Let's see. And then like all of the stats changed.
Yep.
This is for, so it's only showing me the last 90 days.
I know, that's what's really annoying about the system.
So
Okay,
the last 90 days, I've made 170 phone calls in KV Core, 240 texts, 2,735 emails have been sent with 340 property views. And there's only 51 unengaged leads in there out of like
that's actually
almost
pretty damn
500.
good. That's really good. Yeah.
Yep, and
Yep.
only 74 don't have an active smart campaign, but I'm switching them out. So yeah, I'm doing the things, and here's the thing. I've really had to adopt done, not perfect.
Mm-hmm. As you should.
Especially right now with the conversion and everything's kind of a mess.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would love to be able to put someone on my new lead drip and be able to call all 20 of these new leads that are coming in every week, twice a day, and all my calls and clean up KV Core. Realistically, with the way everything is right now, with how messy it is, that's might not happen. It's not realistic unless I stop sleeping and I like myself too much and I'm not willing to burn out.
Well, that's fine. And having segmented, so there's one thing of having minimums per week and not, diverting from that or replacing if you missed it. There's that layer. Then the next layer is the project stuff and cleaning up your CRM system like that. That is priority because that's and adding the drips and making sure everyone has a call task. All like that's an important project. It's just knowing that as soon as you get that cleaned up, so you've got the drips all in there, all of the things, then you go back to ramping it back up with everything. And I'm fine with that.
That's my exact thought process. And like with the new leads, here's the thing, it's 2025. So calls are great, but I have a text that's not just an automated drip campaign. Hey, have you seen anything you like? Where are you at? Timeline. It's not that at all. It actually is engaging and encourages them to engage in a fun way.
Perfect.
That they are getting every day for the first 14 days. And there's an email, and the emails and text that go out each day match each other's tone. So they'll see one of them.
Perfect.
Because those are going out, I don't feel so guilty that, okay, I might be missing some calls here, but they're still getting a direct contact.
Yeah,
that doesn't feel like a canned text.
Yep. No, that's good. And then, like I said, once the project piece of it, the 2 or 3, 4 week thing is done, then you can go back, make sure you're getting, you're hitting all the new lead calls, the twice a day, the once a day, all of that stuff. So yeah, the fact when you have a plan, it's one thing to have that planned out, mapped out, and you're going to get back to it versus just like, oh, I'm not hitting that, you don't, that's not you. So I'm not worried about you.
Yeah. I'm not even worrying so much about making, like I said, done better than perfection. There's honestly too much for me to do for it to be perfect right now without crashing and burning and then not wanting to do anything for 2 months. That would be worse.
Yes, ma'am. Well, yourself too. And, you got to work within your ADHD like mind and all of that. And you're doing phenomenal. So.
Yes, I did have to release a lead back to the pond that I will not work with. And that's the one that I told you was like hitting on me, and it continued to like harassment.
Yep. Nope.
So
you do not need that.
yeah, so I blocked the number on my phone.
Yep.
And returned them to the pond.
And did you make a note about that person was doing that? Just because I want anyone else
yes,
to.
I did.
Okay.
I'm like, I think there's only been a couple times where I've really been concerned about a lead. Like I can count on one hand how many times this has happened in 10 years.
It's rare. It's rare that it happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's to the point where like I was in bed last night, like thankful that Adam was home, because I have the concern, like our information's public. What if he starts stalking me?
Yeah.
And showing up at
the chances
my
of
house.
that level is slim, but it's important to absolutely like have those things. I mean, he'll probably just go find someone else, which is horrible. But yeah, it's people sometimes it's like, ugh, but you did the right things, and that's all you can do. Just block and release and on to the next. Not even worth your time to entertain or engage that. So
there's so many sources and things like that. So yeah, and like what else? So yeah, in the group we were just talking because one of the girls is a personal trainer and she does her own marketing too. So we actually all had like a big marketing conversation and trivia, because it started with that. And we were talking about how it's like, it's not boring. It's fun. It's 2025.
Yep.
Like it's not creepy and annoying.
Mm-hmm.
And how like it all can be implemented. And when we were talking about it, like doing the things we're scared of and like trusting our faith that this is the right thing to do.
Yep. Love it. And that's, it's really cool when you can combine hanging out with people you like, doing things that you like to do, but also like having it be opportunity for business. I mean, that's ideal. That's the lowest hanging fruit. That's that's awesome. I love that you have that.
Well, I've told you how, and we talked about this too. We all have noticed this in our group. And I've told you this. I've noticed when I lean into my faith, things just start working for me better in my business. Mm-hmm. So I've been seeking out ways to lean into my faith. So one of my women's groups is the trivia group. Mm-hmm. So we have like a formal one once a month. And then every other week we'll do like an informal one.
Oh, cool. Okay.
That's a little more relaxed. And like, if we want to have a glass of wine, we can, because they typically don't encourage alcoholic drinks at our formal one.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it's nice that alternates there. So it's also building friendships. And then there's another women's group that's once a month on a Friday that I'm actually going to this evening. And we go to Krista's house and we're doing a night swim, and we're all bringing a dip.
Oh my gosh, how fun.
Tonight.
That is awesome.
And then I am going to start serving in my church in the young adult community.
Oh my gosh, Nicole, that's so cool.
Yeah, so I'm looking for ways to lean in. So with surgery, I'll really only be able to start with like check-in for young adults. So like the new ones that come to the young adult services or events, and literally just checking them and get their information, answer questions they have about our community and our church. Cool. And then once I'm kind of in a better recovery, I'm going to start leading a young adults group.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh, look at you. That's so freaking cool. I love it. I love it. Love it. And you're doing things, you know what? It's amazing because you went from doing 300 calls a week to now you're doing 900, and you're implementing drips, and you're got follow-up stuff dialed. It's like you're doing more, but like all of a sudden, like you have time to actually prioritize the things that you like to do that are also mutually beneficial. And it's not about having more hours in the day. It's about utilizing it wisely. And you're doing freaking phenomenal at it. Like no notes.
It's so crazy. Like literally, like I said, leaning into my faith and doing things I enjoy. I'm now not just working all the time and feeling like I'm working all the time, because I feel like it's talked about so much, like even people who are in corporate positions when they're working 9 to 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of that time, how many hours most days are you really actually working?
Yeah,
Like,
the stats show
there's
like less than half the day, less than half the hours are
there,
actually
there's been
productive
studies,
hours.
what, you really only get about 4 to
Yep.
5 good working hours in a day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, yes, I was working all the time, but how many of those were actually good working hours? And how many of those was it taking me 3 times as long to do something that I could have done in less time
Yep.
if I would have taken care of myself better?
100%. There's actually a principle. There's a principle that I'm blanking on the name of it, but it's essentially what it says is that if you give somebody a task and give them 8 hours to do it, it's going to take 8 hours. If you give someone that task and say you have 2 hours to do it, it's going to take 2 hours. So
It's the same thing with me getting ready for an event. If you give me 5 hours to get ready for an event, I'll take 5 hours.
Yep.
If you tell me I have 2, I'm going to be stressed, but I'll get it done.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's amazing when you apply some pressure or challenge yourself. That's why it's so important, just like the accountability stuff and being engaged with people that care about you. It matters. So I'm super happy that you're leaning into that. You're doing
Yes.
awesome.
And I think also like finding a little bit of a routine. So like I get up in the morning and I go grab my coffee.
Mhm.
And then I sit at the park on a bench in front of the canals and I open up my phone and I check my emails and I'm clicking all the new leads that came in and I'm reaching out to them, putting them in the right status and assigning the drip and setting that. And then I go through my emails and see what needs to be done for the day. And I take like an hour at the park before it gets too hot too, which is really nice. And I get some outside time. I get to be, right by the water. It's beautiful out. And then I've set my tone for the day instead of getting up and, watching the news or watching TikTok and playing on my phone.
Yep.
Because days I get up and one of the first things I do isn't something productive, it sets for the tone of the
Totally.
day that it's
Yep.
not going to be a very productive day. I'll still get things done.
100%.
Yeah. And it's, even if it takes me 10 minutes to do it, it's.
Yep. It's the morning routine. When I read The Miracle Morning, this was like 2020-ish time. That was actually one of the game changers that completely flipped my world is the morning routine. So highly recommend anyone listening, the morning routine. And they actually have a book, not the morning routine. It's called The Miracle Morning, and they have a book specifically for real estate agents. So if you wanted to tap into that, that's a great one. But it makes a huge difference when you actually control your morning rather than hitting snooze 17 times, waking up in a rush. And it's a game changer. So
And it doesn't mean after I've taken, that 30 minutes to an hour, it doesn't mean I can't go and then scroll TikTok for 20, 30 minutes.
Yep.
Like I can absolutely do that because I've already set the tone and of what I have to do today and make the list. Right. So I know I'm not going to be trapped in doing things that don't matter and our time sucks.
Exactly. Yep.
For hours. It'll
100%. Another game changer, I have to move my phone across the room. Like I am one of those perpetual snooze button pushers and it's not good.
I know.
It's not a good habit and it's really actually not good for your brain either.
I know. So I use my second phone that I use for like, I use my second phone now when I'm doing things. So like when I make calls, I'll play a game on my second phone or I can go live on TikTok. I actually record all my videos on my actual phone because it's just better quality.
Yep.
And then I airdrop them to my second phone.
Yep.
So I don't have all of it stored on, so I don't have all of it stored and I'll only keep like ones I'm going to edit on this phone, like before I'm going to edit for the day.
Oh, perfect.
If I'm going to go edit somewhere. Yep. So then I don't have to worry about storage.
Love it.
Yep. And also I wanted to ask you, in our coaching, I really appreciate like constructive and like critical feedback.
Mm-hmm.
So like you can be meaner to me. It's okay.
Well, you know what? I've just, as of late, like what's because you've done the work, right? Like, because before there was a lot of limiting beliefs and a lot of like stuff for you to work through. And now you come to me, and are like, I was struggling with this. This is what I have planned. This is what I'm going to do. And so I'm just like, go girl. Like sometimes it's just like, yep, keep doing that. But yeah, absolutely. Is there
It was so funny when I discovered last week, Monday, that the CRM was a disaster with the conversion and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I was texting Jer about it as I was trying to figure out how we're going to fix it. And he was like, I hope Jen's not mad at me. And I'm like, she's not going to be mad at you. Like, there's nothing we could have done about it. And here's the thing. I've already looked at it. We've already talked. We already have a solution and a plan of exactly how we're going to fix this. Jen didn't have to spend a single brain cell on this. So she's going to love that.
100%. Yep. Yep. Well, ideally, would you like to, like the other one that we've talked about, would you like to switch? Cause I'm researching right now. So
100%.
Okay.
Like yesterday when I was in the CRM, it got to the point that I had to stop because I was so frustrated and working myself up, and that wasn't going to solve anything.
Yep.
And I've used like Microsoft Dynamics, I've used Salesforce, I've used property management CRMs, but I've used Closed, I've used Chime when it was Lofty, I've used Lofty when it was Lofty, I've used Boomtown, Follow Up Boss. I am like the CRM queen. Mm-hmm. Yesterday solidified that this is actually the worst CRM I've ever used since this conversion.
Yep.
And that's saying something, because anyone who's familiar with Salesforce will know exactly what I mean when I say it is efficient at being inefficient.
Yep. I've used Salesforce. I know. I same here. Yeah. I've used so many different CRM systems. It's like at a basic level, like I know how things should function pretty well. And if it doesn't, then yeah, we gotta make some changes. So it is an absolute bitch to switch CRM systems, but sometimes it's necessary. So
I know, but here's the thing. Since I'm going through getting this all cleaned up, it'll make that conversion so seamless that all I have to do is put in the drips.
Yep.
The other thing I'm starting to think about, because July is in a few days. So in my brain, we're already in July. Mm-hmm. I start business planning in October.
Yep.
So we're halfway through the year. This time of year, I start thinking and just kind of making little notes here and there about things I might like to implement or might like to do for the next year, goals I might want to have. Yep. Because realistically, everything I want to do for next year, all that activity is going to start at the end of October, November, I'm already have things in my pipeline for next year.
Yep.
So
smart.
Our marketing director has mentioned, for Flowdesk. Mm-hmm. So, it's not something I'm going to implement right now, but any CRM change and everything or adjustments, it would make it easier so I don't have to do that.
Yep.
I just need to figure out, how am I going to make sure I'm not missing responses? And can Flowdesk send text messages also?
I don't think they can. I think it's just email.
Okay. So maybe, I could still set it up where for the calls and the text to go out on the same day, or there's an email, and I will just know because it's my system that, okay, there's emails going out too.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, do those emails go into your personal email? You don't have to go into Flowdesk and check?
They go to your personal email. Correct.
Okay, perfect.
Here's the thing. Oh, go ahead. And then I'll tell you.
I say, because what I'm noticing with these drip campaigns, I know they're working, but there isn't really a way to check the activity of them.
And because you're doing
Bold Trail, really. I think Chime and Lofty, you can check how emails and campaigns are performing.
You should though. You should be able to. Are you not get like if someone replies to an email that was sent from the CRM? Are you not getting the email back in your inbox?
No, I'm getting the email, but I'm talking about like the analytics
open
and
rates,
like the
click
operation
rates.
side.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's how I'm really going to know if something's working or I need to adjust something.
100%. Yeah, and that's why
So
like it's hard because in real estate there's this balance of like, you know, there's all these different tools and it's hard to have all these third-party ones versus everything all in one, but there's just not one perfect system that does everything exactly how you want it. So, you know, just is what it is. However, Flowdesk, I looked up, it doesn't have like native, like you can't send it through the system, but it does do integrations like with Zapier and different things. So there might be an integration that could work so that your text and emails flow through there.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not a big deal if it doesn't. I know Follow Up Boss would allow you to track like conversions of like the automated like your set texts and emails. And I just looked it up. Lofty does allow you to track the performance of your marketing campaigns.
Fabulous.
So, and I think that's one of the biggest things that Bold Trail is missing. Is
it's the tracking. It's
and you know, tracking is so important to planning. And we've talked about this. If you fail to plan, then you're going to plan to fail.
Yep.
So without tracking, it's very hard to be successful.
100%.
And then I've also just noticed a lot of glitching in there too.
Yeah.
And part of it that should take 20 minutes are taking an hour.
Yeah. And part of it, whatever, they just transitioned, but it's like, you know, it was glitchy before it was Bold Trail. So, okay. Well, this is super helpful. I'm glad I know you're like, you know, where you stand on that. Cause I have my own thoughts too. So I'm doing my research and all of that. So just stay tuned on that. But, it's feeling like we're going to need to make a switch and a transition. So
I would love it. Well, I only put drip campaigns in for 3 months.
Perfect. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, they're all written out, but I only put the 3 months in.
Okay.
Kind of hoping we would be converted by then.
Yeah. We should.
Also, side note, completely unrelated. There's this guy walking this dog over here. That's like a little Pomeranian with a lion cut. And it's so cute.
Love. Okay. Well, I have to hop off and call a client of mine, but yeah, keep going. You have a plan. And as long as you implement it, you're going to be fine and you should be caught up for your surgery and everything. So keep at it, girl.
Everything's going to be good. Okay. Fabulous. Thank you, Jen.
Okay, you're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
Awesome. Okay, cool. You guys got to see a little behind the scenes of agents on my local teams. Now I need to call a client, a potential client. Let's go. No answer. That's okay. I'm going to shoot her a quick text. How are you guys doing? Did you learn anything? Those of you who are here for the 101s, forgot you were going live because I was helping a hyperform. All good, Stylish Bear. What's up? I was just chatting with the peeps, and then we had our 101 calls and just some good stuff happening, and things are picking up. Pipelines are getting full. So lots of really cool stuff. So you guys, if you are needing, like, because I love just every once in a while, I'll give you guys a behind the scenes little sneak peek of just some of the things that we do for coaching and the conversations that we have. And they're very different. Like I just showed you, I had 2 calls with 2 different agents, very different things, just different businesses and whatever. So what's really cool and the way, oh, hang on, getting a call. Hello. Yes, go for it. Yeah, I'll chat with you. I will chat with you about that, but it's yes, there's a reason why. But nope, not at all. It's but yes, we will chat about that. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Okay, cool. Any hoozles. So I am doing right now, which is kind of cool, a 50% off limited time discount code for you guys for the Hype Collective. So you guys, those of you that follow me and know me, I do constantly, I have tons of events for you guys. I do pop-ups and I do group coaching twice a month. And I have a vault with insane resources, tools, systems, processes that we're constantly adding to. And we've got the community that you can literally plug into anytime. It's a 24/7 virtual office that you pop into. And the people that show up there oftentimes get one-on-one help. So even if like you join the Hype Collective and it is group coaching with me live twice a month and the vault and the Discord community, but I pop in and out of there. My marketing director pops in and out of there. My admin assistant pops in there. There are constantly people in there. What's up, Kyle? How are you? Happy Friday. So it is insane. Like yes, value, but also just the impact with having all of those legs or pillars that we implement and incorporate into the coaching program. And it's designed to have a transformational impact in your business, not just like, oh, I bought this thing once or I bought this course and I watched it but didn't implement. Like, no, there's accountability built in. There are yes, the coaching and the tools and the resources and the push, the motivation, being surrounded by people who are doing the things to actually achieve the goals that they set for themselves. And so having that constant, just each of those things, it could be on a daily basis. You can literally pop in there daily. And we have people in the Hype Collective that are doing that and their mind is being blown. Just yesterday, there was a session, one of the agents in the Hype Collective and my marketing director. And she was like, oh my gosh, this is insane. My mind is blown. I didn't know I could do this. They were working through a ChatGPT system and process of like identifying her ideal client and how to create a lead magnet utilizing her own brand tone and voice. And they like set it all up and just really, really cool things, not just well, what script do I use? It's like, okay, at a base level, we have all of that. There's over 400 scripts in there. Okay. It's about deeper level to where like you're going to get excited. Because I know a lot of times in real estate, we can get bored or fall off or just like whatever, or burnout and all of those things. So it's so much more impactful and more in depth than just a typical like rah session and then you're off to do your own thing, or here's a tool, hopefully you can use it, go figure it out. Like it's so much more than that. And I know that there are so many agents out there because I talk to you guys every single day. I talk with agents pretty much all day, every day. And there's usually a handful of things that you struggle with the most. And so that's why I built the Hype Collective around those pitfalls that agents tend to struggle with, like even myself. And I've been through it too, being in this game for over 13 years. and pretty much been in every position you can think of in real estate. So it's built with intention. It is built for community and collaboration, and also giving you like true, like the accountability that you need, the encouragement, helping you get over your own BS so that you can get past all of that into actually achieving what you want. So again, it's not surface level stuff. It is deeper than that, and it's transformational. So you'll really get to, it's hard to explain because until you're in it, it's hard to like describe. But like the best description I think was yesterday, or one of the best, that's most recent is one of the girls that was in there was like, this is blowing my mind. And she was on there until like midnight with my marketing director filling that. She's like, this is absolutely insane. My mind is blown. And I guess her partner came in and was like, who are you talking? Like, what are you doing? And she's like, this is amazing. Like, I have to finish this before I go, and was on there till midnight. So it's like, it's just really cool. And once you're in, you'll see what I'm talking about. And the thing that I would highly encourage, and I always tell agents to do, if you want to get the most out of this, you have to show up, you have to implement, you have to be consistent until at least 2 a.m. Eastern time. Damn. So yeah, like that's what I mean by, it's not just value, like handing you something and say, go utilize this tool, will change your life. It's like, it's community. It's on a daily basis, and there's room for creativity and for flow and for connecting with people that you connect with and vibe with. And it's just one of those things that to have access and to be able to be a part of something like that, where you can just clock in anytime you want, just pop in the Discord and have like instant access to those people without having to be located in the same area, without having to get all ready for the day and drive into the office and try and get time with people or ask your questions or whatever. It's like all of that gets avoided, so you can focus on the most important things in your business. You can get in, get out, get what you need, or stay as long as you'd like. Make some friends, because Lord knows we need some of those in real estate. This is not for the faint of heart in this world. And so anyways, I decided to do a little 4th of July treat, a little halfway mark of the year treat for you guys that are not in there, that have been on the fence, at 50% off. So go get it, because I don't know if I'm going to do another discount that steep for this. So it is ending on July 1st. So go grab it now, or for the first 50 people that use that discount. So go run and grab that. You've got a couple days left, but I would go snag it before it ends, or you forget, or we get to 50 people with that discount code. So as Bon Jovi said, we're halfway there. Yep. And living on a prayer. Absolutely, my guy. So any hoozles, let's do this. I need to film some content. I also need to make a call to this agent to help her. I'm going to coach her up a little bit on how to respond to this repair addendum that she kind of has but doesn't have. So let's call her. Oop, my headphones. Okay. Hello. I'm good. How are you doing? Okay. So after reading her email, I do see what your brokers are like. She said, this is what we want to ask for. Does it break it down? Not really, but at least you know where she's at. Okay. So what are you currently under contract for? Okay. So that's a $40,000 swing. And what was the second offer that you got? What was their highest on the escalation? Okay. Yeah. So, and 9 times out of 10, the best and most, like, not only just best for efficiency wise, but also in just deal wise, like money wise, it's usually more beneficial to keep the deal that you already have, because there's a lot of unknowns and risk that you take if you don't work it out with the current buyer that's like under contract, you have something solid. So I still think it's workable, because again, oh, no problem. So I still think it's workable. I mean, that's what they're asking for. Of course, they're going to shoot for the stars. So, this isn't, they didn't say that, oh, this is our hard number. We're going to back out if we don't get it says we're asking for a price reduction to 765 or thereabout. So, yeah. You're like, my corporate brain cannot right now. I know, but I hate to break it to you. This is how it's going to always be. so, so you learn to just ebb and flow with with how it goes. Okay, so your clients, are they um actually, and how much? What were you under contract for with the first people? 775. Okay. Got it. Okay. So when you really think about it, you're only 10, even with what they're asking for right now, there's only a 10 grand swing of what they were originally going to net anyway. And this is still 50 grand higher, or however, 55 grand higher than what they were originally going to list at in the very beginning. Right? Or thereabout. So I think that's how you present, is you say, hey, bad news is they want 40 grand off. Good news is, and just some perspective to have, is that the next highest offer is there's a $13,000 swing from the other people, and that was their top. That was their escalation number. So so that would be assuming that they would come back and say, yeah, we'll pay that top dollar, right? And then it's also only 10 grand off from the buyer who backed out originally. So we're a lot closer to probably what this thing is worth after all of this data that we have from all of these people. So I think it's my advice, my professional opinion would be to let's try and work something. Not that you have to accept this number, but I do have, I feel strongly that our best foot forward, or our best option, is to try and work something out with this buyer, because it would be risky to, because the investment company that comes in, even if they came back and said, oh yeah, we'll pay the top escalation price, they could then come back and try and cut you down for more after they do their inspections. So, we were kind of landed right where it probably should be, because you've got now three people. You've got the very first buyers who offered roughly this price. You've got the other investment company that you didn't go with, it was about that price. And now you've got this client who wants about that price, even though, so, I think that, the market is telling us we're right in the range. Within $10,000, we're right where about we should be. So that's the big picture of how I would describe and explain that. And then say, and then just ask them like, hey, like, what's your thoughts on that? Like, because if they're like, well, we would have taken that second offer at 778 with, asking no repair. I mean, essentially, okay, is that what you'd be comfortable with? Would you be comfortable with that countering at 775, 778, whatever? Like, okay, that's still giving this buyer more than a lot more than half of what she's asking. Yeah, so I think this is super doable. 25. Yep. Hmm. Yep. Right about what we're talking about. And that's genuinely what we, in the very beginning, what I said is she's got 25 grand of room to wiggle with if she would have went with the second offer. So, mhm. That's perfect. Because in one instance, it's more like less work, less money versus more work, less money, or whatever. Yes. So I think having those two options would be great because then the buyer would focus on the two options rather than fighting about the one number. So I actually really like that approach. Yeah. I know, I know. They're like, "Give us information." Okay, well, now that we know the no I didn't realize she actually sent a number, like said, "Hey, this is what we're gonna ask." Like that, like whatever. If it were me, yeah, I'm more of a paperwork person in the sense of like, hey, like just get like give me the actual proof, like send me something, commit to something. But that's our admin corporate world brains. So, and Rhode Island is like seriously, you guys are the Wild West. I don't understand like your guys' process because yeah. Anyways, so that's okay. Really, yeah, because maybe you need to move to Portland. Well, it's just much more structured contractually and just, anyway, but, okay, well, no, I like it. Like I said, I would be when and also too, lean when you call your clients, be energetic. I mean, be yourself, but like be like, "Hey, I got something I think we can work with. I actually really don't think we're that far off. And here's why." So just breathe some sigh of relief into their moment rather than taking on their stress tone and level. And yeah, and be the calm in the storm and I think you'll be fine. Okay. Yeah, you could, or you could just do it in an email. Like, so like certain time when it benefits me, I'm gonna call. Like most of the time, I want to make a call because I want to negotiate. But in this case, just because like you're presenting two different things, and if you don't want her to like go, oh, well, what about this? What about that? And she's emailing to you for so like I would maybe email her back and say, hey, talk with the clients. They're willing to do one of these two options. Let me know which one your buyer would like to do. Yeah. Yay. Okay, keep me posted. Okay. Bye. Super fun, you guys. FYI, if you are in either on my hype squad or in my coaching stuff, not with the group coaching's different, but if you are one-on-one with me, you get to have access to me Monday through Friday, mainly through text. But if you need help negotiating something or strategizing something, then my agents get to call me and do that. So that is a huge benefit for the agents that are a part of my circle and squad is that they're able to do that and bounce that off of me instead of a principal broker somewhere that is drowning in paperwork and has a million agents that they have to service. So you too can have all of that, but it starts with first, just get in the Hype Collective, just go get 50% off using code HYPE50 and come be a part of the community. And you will not only learn so much, but your mindset is going to shift. I mean, if you're open to it, right? If you're stuck in the mud and you're like, I know I'm going to keep my limiting beliefs, I'm going to keep my excuses, then okay, then then you might not reach transformation. But if you're in a spot where you're like, I am ready to transform my business, I am ready to make changes, I'm ready to scale, I'm ready to grow, then this is 100% a phenomenal community to be a part of because all of us get it. We understand the assignment. We have sipped the tea and understand that like that is what we're all here for. We want transformation. That we don't want just like another tool. We don't just want another course we're never going to watch. We don't want to just stay stuck and stay in the same position that we're at. But growth requires change and change requires uncomfortability. And that is one thing I am totally good with. I have learned to be uncomfortable with being uncomfortable. I have learned that everything that I truly want, that actually means something to me, is outside of where I'm safe. And so that is the community that we have. And so if that's scary and you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for that, then maybe it's not for you. But if you're like, no, I actually want to accomplish the things that I write down every single year. I actually want to have a business that I'm proud of, that funds the life that I want to live. I actually want to be in community with people that are doing the things that they say that they're going to do, that are committed and actually follow through, that show up on a regular basis, that we don't have to pull and drag along. Those are the types of people in the Hype Collective. And the people that show up on a consistent basis, they implement and they do the things over and over and over and over and over again. They're literally funding the life that they want to live. And that's what it's about. And that's why we don't just talk about like, here's how you sell more real estate. It's like, of course, yes, like duh. But we also talk about, okay, what is the long-term goal? What is important to you in your actual personal life? Because if you're just living to work, that's not much of a life to do, unless you're just like obsessed and love it. Like, I mean, I personally love seeing transformation, and I love impacting and being a part of somebody's growth story. Like, I actually really like that. But I like, honestly, the houses themselves, like low key, not a lot of people know this. I'm not a big aesthetic person, in the sense of like, I can walk into Home Goods and leave 2 hours later with nothing because I'm so overwhelmed with like, I don't know what to buy. I don't know if that's going to fit in my living room. I don't know if that piece of artwork is going to look good with the rest that I have. Okay, that's not my forte. I sell houses. I don't decorate them. Like, my draw to real estate was not, oh, I love houses. I love showing them. Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what aspect you like or don't like about selling real estate. Okay, but if you can pick something, even if there have been times in my life where the only thing that actually kept me going was the fact that real estate funded the life that I wanted. And I hated all of it, okay? Because I hit burnout so many times. And sometimes it was like, it was just enough to be like, okay, I know that this family needs my help, or I know these people, like, I know that I do a good job and that like they would benefit from working with me. And I want to help them buy their first house, because I know that in 3 to 5 years, they're going to be able to buy their move up house that they wouldn't be able to afford if they were just working for the next 5 years. And so just little things like that, I've been able to grab and hold on to hang in there when it gets really freaking hard. And that's real, raw, honest. I wasn't planning on chatting about that, but that's the real of it. Like, you're not always going to wake up feeling like doing stuff. You're not always going to wake up loving real estate. And the point is not to love that. Like, it's to find the things about it that are important to you, that bring value to your life, that you do end up loving. And I've had tons of different shifts about what I love about real estate specifically. And that's okay. It's okay if you're feeling burnt out by your follow-up calls, like everyone does, right? But there are certain things that are non-negotiables that you have to do. Like, what it all boils down to is that the people that have the most conversations with people sell the most real estate. And yes, does it help to have better skill, or like, be better at negotiation or better closing? Like, yes. And all of that is in what we talk about in Hype Collective. But at the end of the day, the people who have the most conversations sell the most real estate. So however you want to do that, whether that's cold calling, open houses, events, door knocking, mailers, whatever, like, it doesn't, however you want to do it, fine. It's not so much about the how. Real estate agents in general get so hung up on, well, let's talk about why and what you can hang on to on the days that you're like, F this, I keep getting rejected and I don't want to do it. Like, the why behind that and what you can grab onto in those moments are really, really important, because you aren't going to feel like it, and you got to freaking figure it out, or else you're going to fail, or you're going to quit. And to me, quitting is quitting it is the failure part. Failing, and everyone's so afraid of failure. Failure is not getting rejected. Failure is not flopping on your script. Failure is not getting the listing. Okay. Like, anytime a loss happens or whatever, like, then the next listing appointment you go to, you're starting from experience. Now you know what not to do. Now you know how to shift and try something new and different and better. So don't be afraid to fail. Like, most agents that I talk to, I have failed more than they've even tried. That's the amount of output that you want to have. That's the number of calls, number of conversations you want to have. And not getting so focused on all the no's, because there's going to be more no's than yeses. And we get so focused on, oh, I've heard no 17 times and I only got one yesterday. It's like, you got a yes. That yes could be a $10,000 commission check. Was it worth the time that it took to talk to all of those no's, those 17 other no's that you got to get the $10,000 commission check? Dollar per hour, yes, absolutely yes, every single time. So that's why you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You have to figure out a way to do the damn thing when you don't feel like it, because you're not going to feel like it most days. But you know what does increase your feeling like doing it is when you see results. But guess what? You have to go through the suck before you're going to get the win. Like, I'm sorry, unless you're fed a silver spoon or whatever, like, unless you're an anomaly in this world, like, you're not going to get the result before you go through the trenches. Like, there's no way around that. There's no candy coating that. There's no like substitute for that. And so if I were to really boil it down, it's how many conversations are you having today? Did you have a real estate conversation today? Did you have 10? Did you have 20? And I can give you some averages. The average that you should be shooting for every single day at minimum is 10. 20 conversations a day, real estate, like meaningful conversations about real estate a day. If you hit 20 a day, you will literally sell as much real estate as you want in this world. And people talk like, oh, is that true? Is that true? Yes, because you know what? It happened to me. I heard, team leaders, and like, this is back when I very first started, and I was more on the admin side of things. And I would hear over and over and over again, it's just 10 conversations a day, or just make the 2 hours of lead gen a day. That's it. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. And you know what I did? When I switched to do real estate sales full time, I literally set out to prove my team leaders wrong. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do my 2 hours a day. I'm going to show up every single day. I'm going to do at minimum 2 hours of lead generation a day. And I'm going to prove to them that it takes more than that you have to have a certain set of skills, that you have to have a certain, tools, you have to have knowledge, or you have to have whatever. And I literally did it out of spite because I wanted to prove them wrong and say, see, it, like, for me, it doesn't work, like, whatever. Okay. So I don't care what your motivation is. Like, maybe you're like, oh, Jen, like, maybe what I'm saying is like, I don't know, making you pissed off. Good. Then prove me wrong. Join the Hype Collective, implement, do the things to try and prove that the stuff that I do for coaching doesn't work. Great. Love it. Love the challenge. Let's freaking go. Because if you actually just decide to get rid of all of the excuses that you have and all of the reasons of why your life and why you got this distraction, you got kids and you got a spouse and you got this family member that's just constantly, if you just decide to like, let's just see if I want to prove Jen wrong, that it's not as simple as having 20 conversations a day. I don't believe that. I don't think that could be it. Bring it on. Let's go. Sign up. You get 50% off, Hype 50 at checkout. Okay. Literally making it as easy as freaking possible for people to just be successful. Like, imagine me talking to all the real estate agents that I do and the amount of excuses and limiting beliefs that I hear on a daily basis, let alone my own. Okay. Like, I'm not immune to limiting beliefs and imposter syndrome and all the things that come with being in sales. Okay. So like, imagine all of the things that I hear on a daily basis. And imagine me being like, I literally know, with me who had zero sales experience coming into real estate, zero knowledge about selling a house, like sales, like I was a W-2 girly. Okay. Just growing up my whole life. The majority of my family members, W-2 people. Okay. And which are great. We need them. Love you. But anyways, it's not that that's bad. I'm just saying that was the mindset that I was in. And I was sure my limiting belief was because I didn't come with sales skills that I wouldn't be successful in real estate. And so that was my limiting belief. It used to be. And so what I did was I focused on what I could control. And so I said, you know what? Okay, what I can control is follow up. I can control how many calls I make. And so I decided to primarily lean on cold calling because I didn't have a sphere. Oh, also that was another limitation that I had, is that where I was selling real estate is not where I grew up. And so my sphere, I didn't have a sphere because I didn't know anyone in that area. And so I'm like, okay, what can I control? I can control me calling people, me reaching out. And so I can control to some extent, to a large extent, the conversations that I had. And so I set minimums every single day. And for me, it was as basic as thank you so much, Chair Bear. So for me, it was, okay, I'm not the best salesperson on this team. I don't have, as much experience or whatever, but I'm going to do my follow-up and I'm going to be the best at it because I can control that. And that's not a skill. That's just discipline and determination and grit. Okay, cool. So that's what I did. And my very first year in sales, I sold 50 homes. I was the top producing agent on that team. Not because I had more experience, not because I had more training, not because I had more knowledge, not because I studied the market more than anybody else. It was literally just because I picked up the damn phone. That was it. That was it. So, which is why when agents come to me and say, yeah, but Jen, I got this. Yeah, but Jen, I got that. Yeah, but I don't have this. Yeah, but I don't have that. Da, 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 da. This person's telling me that. It doesn't matter. You don't have, like, okay, there are over 150 million houses in this world, okay? And you could look right now in your state, in the zip code you sell in the county that you sell in, and go look at how many houses just total that there are. That is your lead pool. That is your lead pool. And if you could just convert, like imagine you breaking this down. Imagine you, and when you look at the numbers, you're like, what most people realize, and when I reverse engineer someone's goals and how many homes that they have to sell, when I reverse engineer like how many homes are just available in somebody's market, and how, like, if you had 1% of the market share, like that's usually more deals than people are on people's like stretch goal list. And when you actually break it down of what it takes to have as many conversations as it takes to get appointments to closings to the money that you want to make, it's actually a part-time job to reach six figures, which is what most people's magic goal is for whatever reason in real estate. And it, like, the only thing I cannot do for a real estate agent is make you show up, make you implement, and make you be consistent. Those are the three things I cannot force anyone to do. So all I need an agent to do is to commit to me those three things. And I have literally everything else. I have the tools, the systems, the processes, the scripts, the productivity stuff, the whatever type of lead you want to go after, the lead generation systems, the lead follow-up systems. All of it is in there, all of the tools and resources. And plus, we teach you how to plug and play into your own ChatGPT. So it's your own brand, your own voice, like whatever, all the tech stuff. I've got people that are like constantly studying all the advancements in AI and blah, 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 blah. Like you could run yourself ragged doing that. We've got that. We've got the coaching. Oh, thanks for the gifts. It's giving history. And but yeah, this is me. This is me clashing the cymbals in your ear of like, you can do it. You can do it. Come on, get over your limiting beliefs. It's not that hard. That's me. Thank you so much. That was a perfect gift. Thank you. Thank you. Anyways, and we've got the community too. Like the three things that people ask for the most, that want the most, and I'm giving 50% off of it. Like I'm literally at this point, like what else? What is your excuse? Because it's all there. And to be honest, that's exactly how I create. I did have, because I've got red hair. I can't help it. Okay. I did just a little bit, like a little piece of me, because I got a little bit of spite, a little bit of fire in me. A little piece of me was like, and my team feels the same way. We're going to literally create something, a program that's so over the top, jam-packed full of everything possible, every question we've ever had, every roadblock that every agent has said. And we're going to have an answer, a document, a system, a process, a coaching tool, a community, like all of the things that anyone has ever said that they're struggling with, and make sure that we have at least one, if not multiple resources for whatever thing it is that you're struggling with, so that all that you can say, if you decide to not make it or it doesn't work, all that you'll have left is your own self to blame. So there you have it. There's the real intention behind all of it, other than like the fact that I freaking love seeing people's lives transformed and people hitting the goals that they set. Like that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me motivated. That's what keeps me hyped up. But also in the background, if someone quote unquote fails, or they quit, or they don't actually do it when they plugged in, that literally they have to admit to themselves, you know what? I actually just wasn't willing to show up, implement, and be consistent. I can't blame anything else, because I had all the tools, I had the people, I had the community, I had the resources. So if that is the level of accountability and the level of determination that you have to be successful right now, welcome. Hype Collective is it. And you get 50% off until July 1st, or until 50 people sign up. So Hype 50 is your code. Go to my profile links on any of my social media profile pages. Go check it out. And that's it. Make a decision. Do you want to win or do you not? Are you serious about your goals or are you not? It's literally that easy. People make it so complicated about, success and making it and whatever. And it's like, it's just as simple as making a decision and then staying on track with that decision like really getting real with yourself and being like, did I do the things I needed to do today to hit that goal? And just make it yes or no. Okay. Just make it yes or no. Are there tools and certain things that we use and that we help you to like determine those things and be more specific about it? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, if all you asked yourself was, would I be hired or fired based on my activity that I did today? That's it. Like that, like just take all of the confusing and the complicated and the convoluted things that are going on in your mind and that are happening in your world and just boil it down to one question. And if you can answer, yes, I did the things more often than you say no, you're probably going to be all right. You're probably going to make it. Like, because I would probably over 90% of people just don't actually do the thing. Do you know why I put out so much free content? Other than the fact of like, I really want to help people. Like I genuinely do. There is a stat over 90, like and this was studied across college courses, like, so in schooling, seminars, like whatever, like just watching something, over 90% of people do not actually implement what they learn. So I know, like literally, if somebody wanted script, like just low key, like you're welcome. Those of you that if you just went and watched all of my TikTok channels or just went through my highlights and looked at all of the scripts that of the content that I create, you would have scripts for FSBOs, expireds, first time buyer. Like you would have all of it and you would be killing it and you would be closing those types of leads. And I put that out for you, but 90% of you won't go do it. You won't go watch it and then and you won't implement it. Or maybe you'll watch it, but you won't actually do it. So it's like, that's why having accountability, putting your money where your mouth is and actually investing is, I'll give you an example. I knew that years ago, I was throwing away money by not showing up on social media. I knew that like I had limiting beliefs around it. I didn't want to show my face. I didn't want to do the work that it took to be consistent on social media. And I knew that I would not do it just on my own will. That was like, I was very honest with myself. And so finally, I decided to hire somebody to keep me accountable to that and to help me with it because I knew I wouldn't do it on my own. And so I put my money where I knew would make me money. And I knew if I put that money there, I knew I would do it. And I knew I could sustain being consistent. I cannot tell you how many times like multiple times a year, I know I would have fallen off being consistent with social media and regenerating in that way. I know that I wouldn't have been consistent. I would not be where I was at today unless I put money into the thing I knew that was important and that I needed accountability outside of myself to do. So all of the things that me asking you or providing this opportunity of being a part of the Hype Collective, nothing that I ask my real estate agents to do, nothing that I have coached all of my agents on what to do, none of it has been things that I haven't implemented myself or I haven't learned myself or I am not currently doing for myself. That is why I'm so convicted about it. That is why I know that if someone just shows up, commits, implements, and is consistent, I know it will work because I have done it time and time and time again with all the issues I had in my business, with all the issues I had with my limiting beliefs. That is why I am so passionate about it. That is why I'm so convinced of what I'm offering and what we have and the community that we have and the tools and the resources and all of that. That's why I know it will work. And it doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter if you're new or you're experienced. It doesn't matter where you're at in your business. I know that if you implement and you do the things that we talk about and that we coach on and that we hold you accountable to, I know that whatever your business looks like or whatever it is that you're looking for, that you will be able to achieve that if you show up, if you implement, if you stay consistent. So that's it. And I just, that's it. Go get yourself 50% off. Like, I don't know what else to say because I want to shake a lot of you in a very loving way. Aggressively helpful is what my marketing director likes to say it. We're aggressively helpful because I want the real estate industry to be leveled up. I want real estate agents to be respected. I want us to provide so much value that our jobs don't go away. And I genuinely believe that the agents who level up, that show up differently, that provide value and are different and are like provide a high level of service, that we're not going to go away. As long as we continue to do that, as long as you're not lazy, as long as like you actually have high integrity and you do the things consistently and you don't let roadblocks in your way stop you, like I'm not stressing, I'm not worried, because I know I'm going to continue showing up. I know I'm going to be there. I know that I'm not going to let a failure here and there or whatever. Like there's just no amount of failure that's going to cause me to quit. That's just you, and you have to have that attitude, because there's lots of reasons to. But you don't get reasons and results. You get to pick one. Reasons or results. That's it. Do you have reasons why it didn't work, or do you have the results that gives you the life that you want? And if you have that mindset, you are absolutely ready to be a part of the Hype Collective, and it will absolutely help you transform your life or get you to where you want to go. So those are the types of agents that I'm looking for in the Hype Collective. And pretty soon here, I'm going to open up a program where you get even more time with me. So stay tuned for that. But first step is get in the Hype Collective, get in the community. Like there is always information coming into our brains. And we so easily let people that just are within physical proximity, whether they're toxic or not, we let them influence our thoughts. We let the social media, the mindless scrolling that we do, we let that impact our thoughts and our feelings and our mindsets. There's so much of unintentional information and thought processes and mindsets that fill our brains constantly in this world. Why not take a little bit of control of that and decide who you're going to hang out with, who's going to influence what, that limiting belief that you have? It probably stems actually from your childhood, or from a bad experience you had, or you were mistreated wrong, or whatever. And it's one thing to acknowledge that, right? It's a whole nother thing to be willing to do the work that it takes to genuinely change your mind about that. Which is why, like, you hear people talking about getting back to your inner child and the healing and repairing. There's tons of self-help out there. There's tons of counseling and all that, which it's great that like that's a priority now in this day and age, and that people don't have to feel uncomfortable about talking about it. That is great. But where I see, and I'm a psychology major, okay? So, I studied this stuff. And I kind of have an interesting perspective on some of that stuff. But ultimately, talking about it isn't enough. Knowing that you have a limiting belief, knowing that how you think and how you process what's going on up here isn't enough to affect the change. You have to do the uncomfortable. Like, a counselor isn't going to fix you. Another person, no matter how much they believe in you, isn't going to be the game changer for you. You have to decide that you have value. You have to decide that the way that you were treated when you were a kid, or what happened to you, either wasn't your fault, or that you're not going to think that way anymore. I'm not saying it's easy to transform and to genuinely not just change it here, but change it in here is easy work, right? But it is only your decision to make that happen. And trust me, I have had to come to that realization and conclusion for so many different things in my life, not just like business. Yes, absolutely. But in my life, because I'm fairly decent at like working through things and thinking through things and understanding where my thought process is wrong. But the 6 inches, that's a long ways. That's a long ways to understand it up here, but then to actually have it affect here. And then for that to impact your actions, and then and then to see results from those actions. And so that's the kind of transformation that we're talking about, or that I'm talking about when I'm talking about the Hype Collective and what we do in there, and why it's different, and why when people come in there, like, yes, the first thing they see is the vault and it's like, oh my gosh, there's so much in here. This is amazing. But then the people that decide to show up in the Discord and decide to show up and say, I'm struggling with this. I need help with this. I need to be kicked in the ass about this. And then actually do it. We have story after story. This happens on a daily basis. And it's literally as easy as just coming in, just being a part of it. And I'm making it stupid easy, stupid simple to do that by giving 50% off right now for it. So for everyone watching, that code ends on July 1st because I want as many people that have this drive and this desire to be successful and want to be around like-minded people like that and who need that and want it and actually want to do the things that it takes and actually want to kick in the ass. Because it's easy to say that. It's easy to say I want to make six figures. It's easy to say, oh yeah, I want to make change in my life and I want to, provide a better life for my family, or I want to be able to do this. I want to change generational curses, whatever. Like it's easy to say that. And there's lots of buzzwords that are around that, but very few people actually take the work, do the things behind the scenes, do it even though no one's clapping for them to actually get to the result that they want. And so I want to find as many people who are willing to do the work, who actually want to affect change in their life, because most people fear change. Most people are uncomfortable with that, and our brains are wired to stay comfortable. So you literally have to that's why it's like you have to rewire the synapses in your brain. There's lots of science around it. I've talked about it a lot, but you're literally changing the brain chemistry in your mind in order to affect the change that's going to produce the result that you want. And it's easy, like, everyone knows the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Most of us are in that. Most of us are in that land. And we know that. We might know that fact, but it doesn't impact here. And of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. Where you put your money is there's where that your time and money dictate where your heart's at. And so these are the types of things and the like what's going on behind the scenes. Like when my team is implementing whether it's a new tool or a resource, or whether it's the next topic that we're going to talk about in our coaching session and strategies, this is like what we're like the foundation of what we're building upon, and the intent and the nuts and bolts of underneath all of the things that when we talk real estate, when we talk getting better at conversions, when we talk how to talk like a closer. I'm doing a series right now on that on my socials of how to talk like a closer. When we talk about how to get rid of limiting beliefs, or to overcome the fears that we have, like this, what I've been talking about is the foundation of all that and where actually change happens. So if you're frustrated, good. Frustration is a catalyst for change. Are these things maybe, a little bit of a knife in the gut for you? Good. In a not a physical way, but like whatever, an emotional way. Because if you don't feel frustration with something, or have a strong desire to change your life, then like you're not going to respond to accountability. You're not going to respond to what it takes to get rid of your limiting beliefs. And oh shoot, I think I might have had a call, but I don't think hang on here. I had a call with one of my agents, but I haven't seen him respond yet. So just making sure he didn't pop in my Zoom. Okay, yeah, we're good. So what I'm going to do right now, thank you so much for being here, for coming to my TED Talk. I'm going to film some content because we got to do the things, right? First, I'm going to stand up because my low back hurts. Getting old. And I'm going to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. A little bit of stretching out the back. How you guys doing? How are we feeling? Does anything I'm saying resonate? Maybe make you feel a little bit different. I don't know. Encourage you to do the hard things, do the things you don't want to do. I hope so. Or maybe it's just me. Anyways, let's film. Let's do the things, because then I got to go pick up my kids. I'm going to set an alarm for when I have to leave. I literally, does anybody do this? Because I will just get going. I rocked and rolled with that for like 20 minutes longer than I was going to originally talk about it. But, okay. Set the alarm for when I got to go pick up my kid. All right. Oh, here we go. Let's say I got an offer, $121,000. Under asking my client is like absolutely not. Actually, do I straight up decline the guy? No, don't do that. Hey, girl. Hey. So no, this is what I tell all of my clients. If they get a lowball offer, I say, we don't want to be the ones to end the negotiation. I never want to be the one to end it. I want to force the other person to end the negotiation. So help them set aside the emotions around this and counter back to them with something that they would be willing to accept, because you never know unless you try. So I would not outright reject it. I would send a counter, because literally, like, even if it only takes you 10 minutes to draft up a counter and send it to your clients, like it's worth the extra 10, 15 minutes it's going to take to do that step than potentially missing out on a deal closing. So that's what I would do. So also, fun fact for you guys, never end the negotiation. Okay. Make the other side end the negotiation. Always. Very rarely am I the one telling my clients to reject or decline or to not keep going. I've even before, I have reinstated counter offers. Like when we got lowball offers, it didn't work out. I have even sent a counter, like had my clients like a month down the road say, hey, let's counter that offer again, re-extend the expiration date on it and put the price on it that you want and send it off to them. Like you just have to have, it's a no quit mentality. Never give up, never give in. Absolutely. All right, let me check. I've got some text messages to go through and then we'll film. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Dear Bear. Blah, blah, blah. Cool. Dun, 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 dun. Cute. My son is playing joyfully in a little splash pad with all his friends. So cute. Okay. Love it. Cool. Okay, sweet. Let's do it to it. Oh, I got to call this guy back. I'm going to text this guy back. Okay. Okay. Sam, exclamation mark. Unfortunately, the showing today on 127th won't work, but would any of these days and times work for your clients to go take a look? Question mark. Woo. Just doing a little schedule of what my clients can do. Let's copy, paste. Okay. Cool. Got that done. So what I'm doing, you guys, if you don't know, and if you haven't seen it yet, I am doing a series on how to talk like a closer. And so I've got a number of videos that I'm going to be filming for it. So we're going to dive into that. And I'm going to pull up the ones I haven't filmed yet and do that for you right now. Okay, there's some fire ones coming at you. I cannot wait for the comments. You guys, don't be afraid of a little controlled controversy. Obviously, avoid the no-nos, but it can be fun to get people riled up in the comments, for sure. Like I said, I have red hair, okay? So I got a little fight in me sometimes. And it is what it is. My poor husband, or my lucky husband. Okay. Let's get this popping. And as you guys can see, so those of you that are nervous about being in front of the camera, worried that you have to look a certain way, do a certain thing, just so you know. Oh, what's up, Britt? Hey, girl. Hey, how you doing? Britt in the house, one of my baddie Hype Collective members. Hey, girl. one of the things okay. I have not showered today, okay? And I have zero makeup. My hair is probably going on day 6, okay? Just threw it up in a pony and I've got workout gear on, okay? It literally doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like I trust me, I used to worry about it too, okay? I didn't want to show my face. I didn't want to thought I had to be all dolled up, whatever. Um you don't. Like you really don't. If your content is engaging, if it educates, if it's funny, informational, and it's guided and directed at your ideal client, just show up, get in where you can fit in. You know what I mean? Also, pro tip, I like to use CapCut. They have a teleprompter tool. If you get the paid version, I think it's like $9.99 a month. Highly recommend. But you can just pop in here, put in your bullet points or a full script, whatever you want, hit record, and then boom, you're done. You're done. Okay, let's do it. Ooh, this is a good one. This is a good one. This is gonna ruffle some feathers. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Let's film. It does help if you have good lighting. If you don't have a Ring camera, go in front of a window so the light is on your face, okay? And just make sure the ring light, I've made this mistake before. If you get too close, you get like super shine off of your face. So just back it up a little bit. Can we see you guys, sometimes I have this thing where my brain is faster than my words coming out of my mouth. And so I just lean into it. It's okay. You could just keep going. It's fine. Can we see a few homes first? We're not pre-approved yet. Sure. And I'll test drive a Ferrari before checking my credit score. Welcome to Talk Like a Closer. I'm Jen. I lead multi-state real estate teams and I coach agents who know how to set the tone early so they don't burn time on buyers who aren't ready to buy. Let's talk the we'll wait until get our oh my goodness gracious. Let's talk about the we'll get pre-approved later excuse and how to pivot with professionalism that still protects your time. Here's what I say when a buyer asks to see homes before they've talked to a lender. Totally understand wanting to explore first. That's part of the fun. But here's the thing. The market moves fast. And if we walk right into the house unprepared, we'll lose it. Getting pre-approved isn't a formality, it's leverage. Let that land. Then back it up like this. I'm not saying you need to be locked into anything, but the agents winning deals right now, they're showing up with clients who are ready to write, not just browse. This isn't about pressure, you guys. It's about positioning because here's what closers know. Touring without pre-approval letters gives buyers false momentum. It burns your time and lowers their urgency. And it tells listing agents your offer isn't serious, even if it is. So when someone says, we're just looking right now, don't shut the door. You open the right one and say something like, happy to guide you either way, but if the goal is to win, not just look, let's get your strategy locked in first. That's how serious buyers move. Try it. Let me know how it goes. Okay, cool. That's a big one, you guys. Like, first step in the process, obviously, as we know as real estate agents, is get them pre-approved. Now, are there exceptions to the rule? You might be asking, well, yeah, but Jen, what if I've worked with them in the past and I know they're pre-approved? Okay, get your freak on. Like you have discretion. This is your business, right? But if you're talking to someone you've never met before, it's a cold lead, like whatever, you gotta be able to articulate why it's a win for them to do the steps in the right order. Okay. And there's plenty of different versions I could say of this. So, but at minimum, just being able to explain to people like, hey, look, it's actually going to hurt you, not help you if you do it this way or your way. This is the proper way to do it. This is why. This is the value that I provide. This is why I win clients more deals than the next agent. It's because I help my clients with the right process and take the steps that they need to in order to get what they want. Whoever is the most convinced in a conversation wins. It's not always the person that's right. And oftentimes it's not the person that's right. It's the person who's most convinced wins. So you have to be more convinced of your value than than whatever someone thinks of you. You have to be more convinced of the advice that you're giving and the strategy and the structure that you're providing to somebody than they are convinced of that their way is. And if you just at minimum have a license, because you might be brand new thinking, well, Jen, like I'm new to this and they might have bought or sold a house before. But here's the thing, you have a real estate license, okay? You have more than them. You have the receipts. Okay. So you have to understand and realize and truly believe that, like, no, actually, what I'm advising these people is what's best for them. And if you don't believe that, and they believe more so that putting the cart before the horse is the best route to go, you're going to lose in that conversation, not because you were wrong, but because they were more convinced that their way of doing it was better than yours. Oh, this is a good one. And I called this. Those of you who are in the Hype Collective, I talked about this months ago, and I told you guys, Britt, long time no see. Yes. I told you guys, I said, look, you are about to have more competition in this game. Real estate, you could throw a sign in the yard like 3, 4, 5 years ago. Throw a sign in the yard, you'd be fine. Okay. No longer. You are going to start to have to compete more with listing agents or buyer clients to get the business. And if you don't adapt and if you don't know how to articulate your value, you are going to lose. And so, in fact, a lot of the agents that just joined the Hype Collective said that very same thing. I'm like, I knew this would be happening. Agents are starting to experience that the consumer is interviewing more people now than what they used to do. Even people that are getting referred. Even when I have past clients that refer me to other people, they're like, yeah, we also are going to be talking with perfect, fantastic, let's go. Because I know I can compete. I know my value and I know how to articulate it. So that's what this next video is going to be about. And by the way, if you guys weren't on here earlier and didn't hear, I am doing 50% off right now until July 1st, or when the first 50 people sign up to get 50% off of the Hype Collective. So go run and grab that, because this is the biggest deal that I have done since we launched, and it ends next Tuesday. So go grab that. Also, this upcoming week, I'm going to be doing a pop-up event with an agent who slays it at open houses. And if that is something that's of interest to you, or that you could level up on or want to implement in your business, it's going to be a game changer. She actually coaches real estate agents specifically on open houses. And so she is a ball of energy. She is freaking awesome. But I'm going to be doing that this upcoming Thursday. And I think it's going to be at 2:00 Eastern. So just stay tuned. If you're not in my newsletter, go sign up for that, because then I'll send you all the events that I do. And I'll be posting it too, so you guys will have that information. But keep an eye out for that. That's going to be next Thursday. I'm going to be doing that live with her. Okay, cool. Let's do it. So many things to plug in for you guys, or to plug into, and get the tools, get the resource, get the coaching that you need. And the real sauce is in the Discord. Like when you get on the Hype Squad, you get in the Discord. Just if you know, you know. All right, let's film another one. Let's do glasses off this time, just for funsies. We're talking to a few other agents too. Totally fair. You should feel confident in who's guiding you through this. Welcome to Jen. Welcome to Jen. Welcome to Talk Like a Closer. I am Jen. I lead multi-state real estate teams, and I coach agents who know how to have the agency convo without the ego. Let's talk about how to respond when a buyer says, or a seller says, that they're working with other agents and you want to keep the door open without losing your boundaries. Here's what I say. Totally. That's what I say. Just kidding. Totally respect that. This is a big decision, and who you work with really matters. I work best when there's clarity and commitment. That's how I deliver strategy, speed, and results. So if you're still deciding, no pressure. But if you're ready to go, I am all in. I'm here for it. Then I just let it sit. No tension, no over explaining, because here's the reality. Great agents don't compete by begging for loyalty. They lead with clarity, and the right clients will always rise to that standard. So if a buyer is unsure, say something like, I am happy to answer questions while you're deciding, but once you're in, I'm in. That's how we win. This works because it keeps your authority and professionalism. It signals exclusivity without sounding possessive, and then it builds trust, especially with buyers who aren't trying to play. And it builds trust, especially with buyers who aren't necessarily trying to play the field. They're just overwhelmed and they don't know what the process looks like. Cool. By the way, if you're filming content and you mess up and then you keep restarting and redoing it until you do it perfectly, stop doing that. There's editing tools, okay? Just clip out the section that you messed up on. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Also highly recommend batch creating. I recommend a combination of, like, in an ideal world, if you're trying to make social media one of your pillars for lead generation, highly recommend doing a combination of batch creating content and then also creating content just in the flow of your day. Pick one that you're gonna do. If you're like, I'm more of a flow person, maybe you got ADHD and you're like, it has to just fit within whatever I'm doing. Fantastic. Do that and just record as you go. If you're a person that's more structured and you're like, it's got to be in my calendar, otherwise I won't do it. Totally relate to you on that. So schedule it in and just boom, 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 boom. Plan ahead. Figure out what topics you're going to talk about. If you're good on the fly and you just need a topic and maybe some bullet points, boom, film your content that way. If you're like, I need the exact script, otherwise I'm going to blank out because I'm on a camera. All of a sudden there's a phone in front of me and I freak out. Then write out the script. Use ChatGPT to put it in your brand voice. Then put that script in and try it out. And then for goodness sakes, post and be consistent so that you actually have metrics and stats to show you what things perform well and what content you should create more of. When someone asks me, well, I just don't know what to post. Okay, well, post anything at first that like aligns with the client that you're trying to convert, and test it out. If you don't have any like content to work with, then it's really hard to know what it is that's going to work if you haven't posted anything yet. Do the things, then adjust, then get the results. On to the next one. Okay, so this one is going to okay, so this is going to be along the same lines, except now it's going to be more seller focused. This is cute. I like this. I like it. I like it. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, cool. It does take a few moments to get everything dialed in, but once you're in a flow, it just becomes easy. Read-dee-doo. How are we doing in the comments? Do you guys got anything for me? Comments, concerns, questions, testimonials? I'm here for them. Okay. One more with this setup. Maybe a little of this. We're interviewing a few more agents before we decide. Perfect. I hope they tell you everything you want to hear, because I'm going to tell you what actually happens. Welcome to Talk Like a Closer. I'm Jen. I lead real estate teams in multiple states, and I coach agents who don't compete with empty promises. They close with facts and frameworks. Here's what I say when a seller says they're still interviewing other agents. Totally makes sense. This is a major move, and you should feel confident in who's guiding you. I will never be the agent who buys your listing with a fake price just to win the paperwork, because I'm not here to impress you in the living room. I'm here to win for you in the market. Now pause. Let the others chase, then hit them with this. If you want sugar-coated pricing, you'll find it. If you want strategy that holds up when the showings slow down, I'll be here. Because real closers know this: the wrong agent costs you thousands of dollars in silence, then blames the market. The smart move isn't picking the biggest promise, it's picking the best plan. You're not hiring someone to tell you what you want to hear. You're hiring someone to protect your equity when it counts. This flips everything. It's not pick me, it's here's the standard, match it or keep looking. Cute. Okay. How about them apples? Do. Okay. Love it, love it. Time for a wardrobe change. And to stand up. This old lady back. What color should we do? How about, I have like all the same colored shirts. Do you care, Stylish Bear? Oh. I'm still here. I'm just, following community guidelines. Okay. We're back. Another crop top. Let's go. If you're just joining, welcome. I'm filming some content. I'm doing this new series that's super fun. It's how to talk like a closer. So if you could use more closings, stay tuned. Because this framework and the tone and the scripts, because everyone's obsessed with, I need the right scripts. It also matters how you say it and the conviction that you have behind it. So here's your framework for lots of different scenarios of where you need to talk like a closer. Otherwise, you're going to lose. Sweet. Oh, I love this one. We're going to do some upgrades first, then list. Totally get it. But are you upgrading for your ROI or for your ego? Welcome to Talk Like a Closer. I'm Jen. I lead real estate teams and coach agents who are tired of watching sellers sink $20,000 into upgrades that don't add $5,000 of value. Let's talk about how to respond when a seller wants to renovate before hitting the market. Here's what I say. I'm all for improving the house, but the goal isn't HGTV. It's getting the highest return. And sometimes waiting to renovate actually costs you more than pricing right and listing now. Let that simmer. Okay. This doesn't apply to necessarily every situation, but you know the situations I'm talking about. Then tighten it up with this. I'm not saying skip the updates, but let's get strategic on this. Which upgrades actually change the final sales price? Which ones delay your move and burn your budget? Because buyers shop with calculators, not Pinterest boards. That line, you guys, hits every time because here's what closers know. Every extra month holding the house equals money lost. Over improving without comps equals emotional pricing. And waiting for perfection kills momentum, and buyers don't wait. If your seller says, we'll list it after we fix it up, remind them that fixing the house doesn't necessarily fix the market. Actually, it just doesn't. Remind them that fixing the house doesn't fix the market. Strategy does. Sweet. You would be surprised too. I mean, those of you in real estate probably know a lot of sellers think that they have to spend a ton of money in order to get it ready. And oftentimes it's like, I tell my sellers this, like, I don't want you to spend any more time and money than you have to. Like if it's not going to get you a return to do this, like there are certain things, a lot of the things that sellers can do to not necessarily increase the value, but to increase their chances of multiple offers or increase the chance of someone writing an offer versus not writing an offer, is to remove distractions. So obviously, if there's clutter or if the furniture doesn't fit, or is not angled the right way, or the front of the house needs some landscaping, like there's stuff that people can do that is either low to no cost, that sometimes that's all they need to do. Or yes, fix the major things. If you got an active plumbing leak, like yes, okay, fix that. But oftentimes sellers do benefit more from getting on the market quicker than actually taking the time that it takes to renovate everything and relisting it and not getting their money back. And so don't be afraid to push back, especially if your goal is to net them the most amount of money. Now, if they're in that mindset of like, hey, maybe they have a house that is outdated and all the other houses around them are remodeled. Sure, in certain scenarios where it's like, actually, yeah, if you put 40 grand in, you're going to get $75,000, and that there is a significant increase in what you could get if you did the things. So it's not necessarily the same every single time, but I would say the majority of the time, a full reno of a property isn't going to necessarily net them more money, but the timing is going to be more important, and pricing it right. So again, you got to know your market. You got to know the situation. But these things are important to be able to articulate to people and then have the comps to back it up. So you do still have to know the area, and that's going to make you more confident and help you close better and advise with more value when you do that. Ooh, this is a good one. How often do you hear, we just want to test the market and see what happens? That is like, wah, wah, wah. Okie dokie. Let's do this. Time for a couple more before I go pick up my kiddos. It's early release day at school. So if you guys have any burning questions, if you want to know anything or ask me about the Hype Collective, I'm doing 50% off right now. A little halfway point of the year, a little 4th of July celebration, discount code, whatever reason you need, I'm doing it. Okay. We've got 50% off running right now until July 1st, or until the first 50 people use the code, then it turns off. So if I were you and you're like, yep, this is what I need, I'm tired of making excuses, I'm tired of not hitting the goals that I set for myself, now you can join the Hype Collective for 50% off. Go run and grab it. It's Hype 50 at checkout. All right, let's film this one. This one is, we just want to test the market, see what happens. We just want to test the market and just see what happens. Cool, but the market isn't a vibe check. It's a scoreboard, and it keeps receipts. Welcome to Talk Like a Closer. I am Jen. I lead real estate teams across multiple states, and I coach agents who know how to guide sellers with strategy, not wishful thinking. Let's talk about the test the market myth and how to shut that down without sounding pushy. Here's what I say when a seller tells me that they're just testing it out. I totally get wanting to feel it out first, but here's the thing. Buyers don't test. They scroll, they skip, and they move fast. If your listing isn't fully positioned to win, it's not a test, it's a quiet exit. Then I land it with this. You only get one debut. And if we go live without clarity, strategy, or full commitment, the market won't give us feedback. It'll ghost us. And once a listing goes stale, every price drop costs you credibility. And you also know that every extra week adds pressure, and every new click compares you to the homes that did it right the first time. So if your seller wants to just test it out, hit them with this. The market isn't a maybe. It rewards confidence, not hesitation. Let's go in prepared, or just not at all, because closers don't rush listings, they launch them. Ain't that the truth? Woo-wee. That's also a motivation check. You gotta, if someone's not very motivated and they're not gonna allow you to like full blow, like get it done, do the things, the strategy that it takes to sell something in this market, you are literally setting yourself and them up to significantly devalue their property and not get what they actually need. Woo-woo. Okay, one more, and then we got to roll. Let's do it. Ooh, here's a little FSBO one. Let's try it. Okay, cool. New project. If you're just joining, what's up? I'm filming some content, giving you some behind the scenes. Okay, I'm doing this series, How to Talk Like a Closer. So here we go. Here's the next one. We're going to try selling it ourselves off the market first. Totally fair, but off market doesn't mean off effort. It means off strategy. Welcome to Talk Like a Closer. I'm Jen. I lead real estate teams and I coach agents who are done watching sellers sabotage their own equity with half-baked game plans. Let's talk about the why we'll try it off market first move and how to sound like a pro without sounding desperate. Here's what I say. I get it. The idea of skipping the chaos and saving some money sounds great. Someone just called me. Hang on. But selling off market means giving up your number one advantage, competition. And the fewer eyes you have on your home, the weaker your leverage becomes. Let that land, then deliver this next line with some clarity, not judgment. I'm not here to scare you out of it, but I am here to make sure that you understand the cost of invisibility, because what you save in commission, you may lose in silence. Here's what closers know. Limited exposure equals lower urgency. No demand equals no leverage. And buyers know you're... And buyers don't know if you're not on the market, which means they don't bring their best offer or an offer at all. So when a seller says, we're going to try off market first, flip it with this. If the goal is to max your profit, let's build a launch, not a whisper, because your home deserves a strategy, not a soft open. Now, of course, there's exceptions to this, okay? Some people off market makes sense, but for the majority of the time, people want to maximize their profits. So this is the script that you use. I have to make sure. Oh my goodness. Dang it, you guys, I'm gonna have to refilm that. I had a call that came in, and even though I declined it, it got rid of my audio. Bummer. Okay. That's all right. We will try her again. But I'm going to edit this really fast. Okay. All right. Here we go. Take two. We're going to try selling it ourselves off market first. Totally fair, but off market doesn't mean off effort. It means off strategy. Welcome to Talk Like a Closer. I'm Jen. I lead real estate teams and I coach agents who are done watching sellers sabotage their own equity with half-baked game plans. Let's talk about the we'll try it off market first move and how to respond like a pro without sounding desperate. Here's what I say. I get it. The idea of skipping the chaos and saving some money sounds great, but selling off market means giving up your number one advantage, competition, and fewer eyes. And the fewer eyes you have on your home, the weaker your leverage becomes. Now let that land. Then deliver this next line with clarity, not judgment. I'm not here to scare you out of it, but I am here to make sure that you understand the cost of invisibility, because what you save in commission, you may lose in silence. Here is what closers know. Limited exposure equals lower urgency. No demand equals no leverage. And if buyers, i.e. investors, know you're not on the market, that means they're probably not going to bring their best offer or an offer at all. So when a seller says, we're going to try off market first, flip it with this. If the goal is to maximize your profit, let's build a launch, not a whisper, because your home deserves a strategy, not a soft open. Cute. Okay, Dunzo. All right, you guys. So I have to run, but before I go, I want you guys to know a couple things. Number one, do your follow-up. Be consistent. Ooh, someone has a question. Can you give opinion? I passed my test back in April, but an LO getting back into mortgage. Okay, yes. Yes, girl. Sandy, I'm licensed with a broker. Yeah, you should absolutely, you can schedule a call with me. Happy to chat with you about that and connect you with some awesome people. You can join our squad if you want. I've got a huge agent pool and it's a lot of cool resources to get you plugged in. So probably the best thing to do for you is if you go to my profile page, I have a Calendly link in the link tree. It just says schedule a call with me. And you can just do that. It's a quick 15-minute and we can just chat about your situation, kind of what you're needing, what you're looking for. I'd be happy to talk through that with you. So yeah, you guys, all of you guys have the option to do that. If you're in the real estate space at all, you can schedule a call with me. I have more specific questions if you want to ask more about the coaching programs I do. But definitely run and go get yourself 50% off of the Hype Collective. I do 2 group live coaching sessions every single month. Plus you get access to the Vault, which has a ton of tools, systems, resources, scripts, lead gen, follow-up, social media, ChatGPT, like all the things are in there. And you get access to my private community in Discord, which is where the magic happens. Because when you plug in and you stay consistent and you're willing to be held accountable and you're working with people who are high level achievers, who are doing the things, who are staying consistent and are going after what it is that they want, that's game changing for your business. So if you don't have any one of those things or all of those things, I am doing 50% off right now. Hype50 is the code when you go to checkout. Just go to my profile link. You'll see it right there at the top. It'll take you to the page that tells you all the things you get. And then at checkout, just make sure you input Hype50 to get 50% off. That is ending July 1st, next Tuesday, or for the first 50 people that sign up. So happy halfway point of the year, happy Independence Day, whatever you want, go get yourself 50% off. Okay, gotta run. Love you guys. As always, stay hype, of course. And I'm here. I'm around. I'm live pretty much every single day. I also have a ton of events for you guys to plug into that are for free. If you go to my profile, all of this stuff is in my profile link. Follow Up is Forever. It's an event that I do once a month. It's for free. Come in, learn how to follow up, learn the scripts, learn the processes, the systems on how to get better at that, because it is, in my opinion, the number one thing that you have to be proficient at if you want to have a business, one that can scale, one that you're going to sustain for a long period of time. So that is for free. So check that out. Register for it. If you register for it, then you will get a recap email. So everything, whatever topic I am doing surrounding follow-up, I always do a recap email that gives you the scripts that I talk about, that gives you the templates or whatever we're talking about that day. So really important that you register for it so that you get all that follow-up information. And then I'm doing a pop-up event this next Thursday. I'm doing it with a gal who has mastered the open house. And if that's something that you're either interested in getting or initiating that into your business, or if you know that you need to level up your open houses and you need to make them more not only efficient, but just higher converting, she is going to talk all about that. And that's going to be next Thursday at 2:00 Eastern, 11:00 Pacific. So that will be live and all the details will be coming out next week so that you guys can make sure to sign up and attend that. That's going to be for free. And other than that, go get yourself 50% off the Hype Collective. Hype50 isn't BlackRock buying up everything. Blake, this is why we need to be educated as real estate agents to help people get into houses so that we can avoid and offset some of that stuff that's happening. Because yeah, it's we don't bury our heads in the sand. We get realistic with what's happening in the world, what's happening in real estate, and then guide our clients and give them actual tools, resources, people, and knowledge that's going to help them so that they don't lose out to all these big guys. Okay. All right. Have a fantastic weekend, you guys. Go do your Legion. Go do your follow-up. I don't care if it's Friday. I don't care if it's the afternoon. You've got it. You can do it. I believe in you. And we'll see you in the Hive Collective. Bye.